Douluo, the sacred dragon staff. Welcome back, brave explorers of impossible worlds. We are excited to have you here to continue this odyssey together. Before we continue, everything you'll hear is pure fiction, so please don't try to replicate combat techniques at home. This wonderful story and all its rights belong to its brilliant original author. We are only the messengers of entertainment. Want another dose of adventure? Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss a single chapter, and if you can't wait, our Patreon has exclusive surprises you'll love. Chapter 226, Broken Arm and Escape. Tang Xiao's pupils constricted. He hadn't expected Li Yusong to strike while he was gathering his power, and at such speed, he was seconds away from completing it. But there was no other way. Even if he hadn't finished, he had to attack, or he would be in danger. Boom. The immensely powerful clear sky hammer slammed forward, but Li Yusong deftly dodged it, striking Tang Xiao's left side. Seeing his attack was failing, Tang Xiao dodged, but his left arm was still struck, reduced to a bloody mist. Tang Xiao had no other choice but to blast his last spirit ring. He swung the clear sky hammer with his right hand, creating a whirlwind and flinging it at Li Yusong, then quickly fled the spirit hall. Li Yusong saw the clear sky hammer coming for his face and, gathering all his strength, struck it with a club, shattering Tang Xiao's clear sky hammer. Having already escaped the spirit city, Tang Xiao spat out another mouthful of blood. He felt his spirit shattered, his left arm severed, and his spirit power dropped 10 levels. He couldn't stay much longer, he had to leave quickly, or his life would be in danger. Li Yusong, standing in the sky, snorted coldly. HMPH, the Haoshan sect escapes really fast. Suddenly, a crystalline bone appeared in the sky. Li Yusong spotted it and grabbed it with a wave of his hand. It was Tang Xiao's left arm bone. Li Yusong could sense that it was 70,000 years old and had some thunder properties, likely dropped by a thunder-attributed dragon. Li Yusong guessed it was one of the 3 inherited soul bones of the Haoshan sect. Tang Xiao's inherited soul bones were Tang Hao's right arm and left leg, while Tang Xiao's was the left arm. Not bad, a good deal, Li Yusong muttered. The title Douluo present all saw the soul bone, but none of them wanted to seize it. Those who needed it couldn't defeat Tang Xiao, let alone Li Yusong, who could beat him like a dog. Those who didn't need it simply disdained the soul bone, so everyone assumed it belonged to Li Yusong. Li Yusong collected his spirit bones and descended from the sky. The breeze blew his red elder robe and navy windbreaker, making him look particularly handsome. He was especially impressive, especially with the sky-lifting divine dragon pillar in hand, looking like a god of war. The female spirit masters present were transfixed, especially Du Guyan and Jin Ringsu, whose hearts surged with excitement. After all, it was rare to see their men in such high spirits. Neither woman had witnessed Li Yusong's killing of Tang Hao, having only heard of it. But this time, defeating Xiaoshan Douluo head-on and severing his arm was truly remarkable. From this moment on, Li Yusong's reputation would be firmly established. Having killed Haoshan Douluo and severely injured Xiaoshan Douluo, a rising star had successfully stepped onto the path of the Haoshan twin stars to the pinnacle of the Spirit Master path. Clang, Bibi Dong struck her scepter, silencing the restless papacy. Everyone, the farce is over. The finals of the All-Continental Advanced Spirit Master competition must continue. Due to Tang San of the Sky Dou Royal Team committing multiple fouls, the Sky Dou Royal Team's results are disqualified and he has been banned for 10 years. Does His Highness Zhu King have any objections? Bibi Dong announced the outcome. A 10-year ban meant 2 tournaments. I have no objections. I will obey the orders of His Holiness the Pope. From now on, Tang San and Yu Xiaogang are no longer members of the Sky Dou Royal Academy. They have brought shame upon the Sky Dou Empire. From this day forward, they are criminals of the Empire, and Tang San is its criminal. Zhu King calmly read out the verdict. From this sentence on, Tang San and Yu Xiaogang would no longer have a place in the Sky Dou Empire, becoming mere pariahs. Your Holiness the Pope is wise. Your Highness Zhu King is wise. Alright, the finals of the All-Continental Advanced Spirit Master competition will begin the day after tomorrow. It will be the Spirit Hall Academy team versus the Shrek Academy team. Strive for the championship with your glory. Bibi Dong announced the finals would take place the day after tomorrow. Hooray! 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 Li Yusong pondered what to do after the finals. After all, Shrek Academy was likely to win this match. All they had to do was quickly eliminate ZU. Or knock Hulina unconscious. That would make winning even easier. Forget it. Fighting here would only get me beaten to death by my mother-in-law. Afterward, everyone at Shrek Academy would enter a period of rapid development, and they would all make long-term progress. Li Yusong, just as he was fighting Tang Xiao, felt his bottleneck loosening and needed to retreat for a while. After breaking through this bottleneck, Li Yusong would then condense his soul core and transform the dragon elixir into the 9th soul ring. This retreat might take a while. Li Yusong planned to obtain the vast sea universe shackle after reaching the title Douluo level. He would then have Dou Yuan obtain the vast sea universe shackle's approval, and have the Shrek Academy members follow Dou Yuan to the Sea God Island for training. Li Yusong himself would journey to the Slaughter City to annihilate Tang Chen and attain the 9 Sure Trials. Then, by destroying the Haoshan sect, he could unify the Douluo Continent. Li Yusong immediately wanted to tell his mother-in-law about this idea. After all, in all his time with Bibi Dong, she was the only one with a similar dream. The latest novel is now available on the 6th book bar. Overthrow the old aristocracy and unify the entire Douluo Continent. This is why Bibi Dong, while calling him a brat, secretly identifies with his son, because this son is truly her own son, not a blood relative. His ideas are similar to hers, and he understands her true goals, as well as the determination, confidence, and patience required to achieve them. Meanwhile, outside Wuhan City, Tang Xiao, after sensing the absence of pursuers, rested in place. The damage he had sustained was immense. Not only did he endure the backlash from the explosion of his 9 spirit rings, but his left arm was permanently severed, and he lost his inherited spirit bone from the Clear Sky sect. His spirit power plummeted to level 86, and his meridians were damaged, requiring a long period of recuperation. All of this was done to protect his nephew. For Tang San, he even went so far as to antagonize the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile sect and the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex sect, even engaging in a fight at the Spirit Hall, which then threatened to take action. But he successfully escaped, having saved Tang San, a genius with twin spirits, and it was all worth it. Speaking of Tang San, Tang Xiao immediately released his nephew. He examined Tang San's body, discovering that his bones were shattered, his meridians severely damaged, and numerous hidden injuries persisted. Furthermore, Tang San's blue-silver grass spirit was on the verge of shattering, and a single misstep could shatter it completely. How could this injury be so severe? Damn it! That fellow was so ruthless. Damn it! It seems this is the only way. Tang Xiao examined Tang San's body and found it too difficult to heal. So he pulled an emerald green pill from his spirit tool and fed it to Tang San. He then pulled out a piece of emerald green spirit bone from another spirit tool. Judging from its appearance, it should be a torso bone. Tang Xiao fitted the spirit bone onto Tang San's torso. I hope the life-saving pills left by the Poyu clan and the 40,000-year-old torso bone of the Tree of Life can help you survive this. Tang Xiao sighed and began to recuperate. While the backlash from the ring explosion was severe, it was manageable. The only drawback was that his left arm was broken, and his spirit bone had been ripped out, leaving his spirit power permanently stuck at level 86. Chapter 227 Final. No one knew about Tang Xiao and Tang San's affairs, nor did anyone care, because no one paid attention to the loser. The winner of this battle, Li Yusong, was the most eye-catching. 2 days later, still in front of the Pope's palace, the Spirit Hall Academy team and the Shrek Academy team stood separately. Shrek team, Oscar, Ma Hongjin, Yang Wu, Zhu Zhuqing, Yu Xiangxin, Ning Rongrong, Yi Lingling Spirit Hall team, Hu Lina, Ziyu, Yan, Sun Chuan Tao, Li Kai, Zhang Ping, Su Yu. The strength of the two teams in this match was similar. On the Shrek team's side, Oscar, Supreme Sausage, level 59. Ma Hongjin, Fire Phoenix, level 62. Yang Wu, Soul Breaking Spear, level 51. Zhu Zhuqing, Nether Spirit Cat, level 49. Yu Xiangxin, Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus, level 49. Ning Rongrong, 9 Treasures Glazed Pagoda, level 48. Yi Lingling, 9-Hearted Begonia, level 48. On the Spirit Hall Academy team's side, Hu Lina, 6-Tailed Sky Fox, level 62. Ziyu, Moonblade, level 52. Yan, Flame Lord, level 51. Sun Chuan Tao, Circular Giant Blade, level 48. Li Kai, Black Horned Giant Boar, level 47. Zhang Ping, Golden Waisted Flying Swallow, level 47. Su Yu, Brilliant Golden Scepter, level 46. Shrek Academy has a slight advantage in terms of level, but Hulina and Ziyu possess spirit fusion skills, which is a significant challenge. However, in terms of spirit quality, the Shrek team far surpasses the Spirit Hall team, with all spirits at the top level. This match promises to be incredibly exciting, for since the beginning of the Continental Advanced Spirit Master competition, there has never been a Soul Emperor level match. This is truly unique. Match, since both teams are so skilled, Soul Douluo level strength might not be enough to stop a full-scale clash, so Bibi Dong has invited a titled Douluo to referee. The referee, dressed in azure and bearing a playful demeanor, is well known to most of the Shrek team. He's a newly promoted titled Douluo, titled Wind God. Yu Xianshang observed the fierce fighting between the two teams and grinned. Begin. As soon as he finished speaking, Yu Xianshang transformed into wind and departed, now observing the match from the sky. Both teams released their spirits, and their spirit rings unfolded. The Spirit Hall Academy's team performed relatively normally, with their best spirit ring configurations. Only Hulina's fourth spirit ring was a purple-black, reaching over 9,000 years of age. The rest of the Spirit Hall team had standard spirit ring configurations of 2 yellow and 2 purple. The Shrek team was beginning to feel the pinch. Ma Hongjin, 1 yellow, 2 purple, 3 black. Oscar, 1 yellow, 2 purple, 1 purple-black, 1 black. Yang Wu, 2 yellow, 2 purple, 1 black. Yu Xiangxin, 2 yellow, 2 purple. Zhu Zhuqing, 2 yellow, 1 purple, 1 purple-black. Ning Rongrong, 2 yellow, 1 purple, 1 purple-black. Yu Lingling, 2 yellow, 1 purple, 1 purple-black. Aside from Yu Xiangxin and Yang Wu, the remaining team members' fourth spirit rings were either purple-black or pure black. Only the Shrek team had achieved such a transcendental spirit ring configuration. As the Shrek team unleashed their spirit rings, several members of the Spirit Hall team felt a little discouraged. Could they win? Hulina, even considering the opponent's spirit ring configuration, was quite apprehensive. After all, the opposing Spirit Emperor, Ma Hongjin, far outclassed her in terms of offensive power. Only by unleashing spirit fusion techniques could they achieve victory. Brother, yes, Ziyu and Hulina clasped their hands together, instantly transforming into one. Each person merged into a figure with flowing long hair, seemingly androgynous. Clad in armor, they emerged, wielding a moon blade. Previously, Ziyu was in charge of the spirit fusion technique, but now, Hulina was the primary actor. Because Hulina's spirit power and mental strength were both higher than Ziyu's, she took the lead. After the two completed the spirit fusion technique, Yaomei began emanating a red mist centered on herself. The mist instantly spread throughout the arena, enveloping the Shrek team. Yaomei, the master of control, could release a red mist centered on herself. Within this skill's range, everyone's senses were reduced by 50%, their spirit power was suppressed by 50%, and all movements were sluggish by 50%. Everyone on the Shrek team felt their health drop by half, a deeply uncomfortable feeling. And except for Ma Hongjin and Oscar, who could barely make out Yaomei's silhouette, everyone else was completely dark. In my domain, no matter how strong you are, it's useless. All of your senses will be reduced by 50%, your soul power will be suppressed by 50%, and all movements will be slowed by 50%. I can easily see your every move. Your only chance of victory is to interrupt our spirit fusion technique. Unfortunately, you didn't stop it. Now, I give you two options. One is to surrender, which will save Elder Li's face. The other is for us to eliminate you one by one. The demon's voice, half male and half female, rang out. It was a fusion of Hulina and Ziyu's voices. They didn't attack immediately. The Shrek team was trained by Elder Li, and they couldn't afford to offend him. In fact, it was Hulina's selfish motive. She didn't want Li Luochen to lose face. Haha, so you think you can defeat us? Your domain is indeed powerful, but it has its flaws, Ma Hongjin suddenly said, his eyes fixed on the blurry demon before him. Oh? You can see us. It seems your mental power is quite strong. It's true that my domain might not be of much use to you, or to you and Oscar, since you can fly after all. The latest novels are released on 69 Shuba. But what good is it if only you two can fly? 7 against 2, we have the advantage, Yaomei said sternly. You want to see us fly, right? Then we'll show you. Second soul skill, Swift Mushroom Sausage, Oscar suddenly produced 5 mushroom sausages in his hand and tossed them to his teammates. The Shrek team devoured the sausages, and a pair of wings suddenly sprouted from their backs, soaring out of Yao Mei's red mist domain at breakneck speed. Yang Wu, Yu Xiangxin, Zhu Zhuking, Ning Rongrong, and Yi Lingling each flew out of the red mist domain, leaving Oscar and Ma Hongjin alone within. The 2 of them reserved their domains for the battle against the demon spirits, while the remaining 5 should have no trouble dealing with the rest. They simply needed to contain the demon spirits' movements. The 2 exchanged glances and each summoned their external spirit bones. Ma Hongjin was possessed by the fire phoenix, and Oscar agreed. The powerful phoenix flames intensified the red mist. Come on, demon spirits. Let's see whether your spirit fusion skills are stronger, brother and sister. Or is our combined skills stronger? Ma Hongjin and Oscar shouted in unison. Come on, the demon spirits assumed a fighting stance. Xiaoyao, Hongjin, don't let these 2 siblings underestimate your bond. Li Luochen stood up and shouted, his voice piercing the red mist and reaching the ears of the 4. At this moment, Ma Hongjin and Oscar's fighting spirit reached its peak. Elderly. What you're doing is unfair, Bi Bidong said coldly, her eyes conveying a question. What are you doing, kid? Suddenly, she yelled, you scared me. No, I'm just trying to cheer up my precious students, Li Luochen said, but his eyes were filled with fear. Wrong, I won't dare to do that again next time. Of the experts present, only Bi Bidong, Li Luochen, Jin Ringsu, Du Yuyan, and Yu Xiangshan could see through the red fog. The other titled Dalos lacked the mental strength to see clearly. Yu Luomian, with a blessing of a high-aged spirit bone, could barely make out the outline, but his attention was now on his eldest grandson. Chapter 228 Final 2. Outside the red mist, Yang Wu and Yu Xiangxin landed first, each possessed by their own spirits. They faced off head-on against the remaining 5 members of the Spirit Hall team. Arrogant, Yan raged. He had become more open-minded a few days before being knocked unconscious by Li Luochen. Even a titled Douluo had been severely injured. Beating him was like beating a dog. After a few days of recuperation, Yan's mentality had somewhat recovered. He had returned to the fiery Yan of the Golden Generation. 2 people were trying to stop the 5 of them. Wasn't that a sign of contempt? Flame Lord possession, Yan roared, and 5 spirit rings, 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 1 black, emanated from his body. Suyu, give me an amplification, Yan shouted, requesting the golden scepter's Suyu to amplify him. The golden scepter. Ugh, Suyu's voice suddenly changed dramatically. The other 4 members of the Spirit Hall team turned around, discovering that Suyu had been dispatched. The 4 Spirit Hall members saw Zhu Zhuking from the Shrek team grabbing Suyu's neck and then tossing him out of the arena. Yan and the others realized their carelessness. Their attention had been drawn to Yang Wu and Yu Xiangxin, distracting them. Zhu Zhuking took advantage of this opportunity to sneak around and attack the support, putting them at a disadvantage. Going back a few seconds, after the 5 members of the Shrek team emerged from the red mist, Zhu Zhuking used Nether Shadow Escape, entering a hidden state. Yi Lingling and Ning Rongrong boosted Zhu Zhuking's spirit power and speed, allowing her to quickly dispatch Suyu. Meanwhile, Yang Wu and Yu Xiangxin were trying to attract the Spirit Hall team's attention. This battle was all about psychological warfare. As expected, the disciples of Old Yin Boi were all Old Yin Boi, even engaging in scheming in a match. After defeating the opposing support-type Golden Scepter, the Spirit Hall team's 4 members would no longer see their strength boosted. With the full support of Ning Rongrong and Yi Lingling, Yang Wu, Yu Xiangxin, and Zhu Zhuking had a significant advantage against 4. The 9 treasures have names, 1 is strength, 2 is speed, 3 is soul, and 4 is control. Ning Rongrong amplified her power with all her might, sending 4 beams of supporting light radiating down upon Yang Wu, Yu Xiangxin, and Zhu Zhuking. While the 7 treasures glazed pagoda's support was formidable, it also had its limitations. Each soul skill consumed the same amount of soul power at the same level. However, the 7 treasures glazed pagoda possessed a skill called distraction control, with 5 levels: the 3 aperture control heart, the 4 aperture persistent heart, the 5 aperture dispersion heart, the 6 aperture Rui heart, and the 7 aperture exquisite heart. Each level represented the number of soul skills that could be controlled simultaneously and the number of times they could be unleashed simultaneously. Ning Rongrong's distraction control had now reached the 6 aperture Rui heart, allowing her to simultaneously manipulate 6 soul skills to assist 6 targets. Manipulating 4 soul skills to assist 3 targets was effortless. 9 Heart Soul Enhancement. Yielding simultaneously unleashed her soul skills, but her soul power amplification was specifically for Ningrongrong. This time, she needed to support Ningrongrong's soul power. Since it was the finals, they decided not to go head-to-head with their opponents, as that would easily lead to failure. They preferred to leave it to the attacking team. Their mirror images were more focused on surprise attacks, like the unfortunate Oslo, who was brutally beaten by the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex and is still recuperating in bed. On the field, the 4 members of the Spirit Hall team were surrounded by 3 members of Shrek Academy. Yang Wu, wielding the soul-breaking spear, was filled with fighting spirit, emanating black flames, and his eyes turned red. Although only at level 51, the aura he exuded made the Spirit Hall team feel as oppressive as a Soul Sage level teacher. Yu Xiangxin's Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex possessed the oppressive power unique to a superior dragon, causing Li Kai's black-horned giant pig and Zhang Ping's golden wide flying swallow to feel the pressure from a superior. This weakened their fighting spirit. The Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex was indeed very useful when bullying higher-level beast spirits. The matchups here were clear: Yang Wu vs Yan, Yu Xiangxin vs Li Kai and Zhang Ping, and Zhu Zhuking vs Sun Chuan Tao, each playing to their strengths. Yan's spirit, the Flame Lord, was a mutated, top-tier spirit, possessing both fire and earth attributes. These 2 elements could combine to form magma, giving Yan both the explosive power of a powerful offensive system and the defensive capabilities of a defensive system. Furthermore, the Flame Lord belonged to the elemental realm, making it invincible unless confronted by a supreme super spirit like Ultimate Fire or Ultimate Earth. Damn it! Second spirit skill, Granite. Yan's Flame Lord slammed the ground, condensing a massive stone arm from his right arm and smashing towards Yang Wu. First spirit skill, Shock. A sudden burst of explosive energy erupted from Yang Wu. The soul-breaking spear struck a massive stone arm, shattering it, and Yan's own aura reached its peak within the blast. Damn it! Fifth soul skill, Flying Sand and Raging Flames. Yan unleashed his 10,000-year-old fifth soul skill, expending no effort at all. He had to quickly eliminate Yang Wu, then help his teammates defeat Yu Xiangxin and Zhu Zhuking, and ultimately help Ulina and the others win the match. The following appears unrelated to the preceding text. The latest novel is released on the 69th book forum. Fifth soul skill, Break. Yang Wu's momentum soared. Ningrongrong's assistance had instantly elevated his power to the Soul Emperor level. The soul-breaking spear combined with the 9 treasures glazed pagoda equaled a refreshing feeling. Yang Wu felt a surge of energy, a rebirth, a new lease on life. Yang Wu, would no longer be bound by constraints. Yan's fifth soul skill, a large-scale flaming attack, had a massive range, only surpassed by Ma Hongjian's Phoenix Meteor Shower. But Yang Wu intended to use his own break, to break Yan's attack and defeat him once and for all. The pitch-black soul-breaking spear, blazing with black flames, charged towards the raging sands. Yang Wu was filled with excitement. His previous opponents had been so weak that he'd feared stabbing them to death. This time, he could unleash his full power, so why wouldn't he be excited? Bang! Yang Wu plunged into the flames, but his speed didn't falter. The flames were simply shattered by his soul-breaking spear, leaving him unscathed. Ling. Puff. Another glance revealed that Yang Wu's soul-breaking spear had pierced Yan's right chest. It wasn't deep, just a tip of the spear entering slightly. However, the soul-breaking spear's unique properties, its destructive nature, were already wreaking havoc within Yan's body. Yan was now spitting blood profusely as the soul-breaking spear's destructive nature continued to wreak havoc within him, but he still had strength left. He swung his right fist to counterattack. Yang Wu's spear tip penetrated further, causing Yan to hesitate in the pain. Don't move. If you move, you'll die, Yang Wu declared. He had already shown mercy, avoiding the heart and instead shifting his attack to the right side of the chest. Furthermore, Yang Wu had been able to reduce his force before stabbing, with his spear tip only digging in slightly. If Yan continued, he wouldn't mind giving him a hard time. Yan loses. Xian Sheng, take Yan off the field. The soul-breaking spear's destructive power is too overwhelming. Get him treated as soon as possible, Bi Bidong sighed, ultimately deciding to have Yan removed for treatment. The outcome would depend on her disciple, Hulina. Yes, Your Holiness, Yu Shai and Sheng, never one to laugh in public, instantly teleported Yan off the field to healing Spirit Master. With the loss of Yan, a Soul King, the remaining members of the Spirit Hall team faced even greater pressure. Yang Wu quickly dispatched the two men after joining the Yu Xiangxin battlefield. Zhu's Huking also dispatched Sun Chuanteo. The five of them then watched the red mist, awaiting the outcome of the battle between Ma Hongjin, Oscar, and Yao Mei. Chapter 229 Victory. The five members of the Shrek team defeated the remaining five members of the Spirit Hall team and now stood outside the red fog, awaiting the end of their battle. Meanwhile, Bi Bidong, seated high on the throne in the Pope's palace, had darkened. She knew the Spirit Hall team was in dire straits. She watched the situation within the red fog as Yao Mei, Ma Hongjin, and Oscar engaged in a fierce battle. While Yao Mei's red fog domain could weaken an opponent's stats, Oscar possessed the sausage. Ma Hongjin and Oscar refused to engage Yao Mei head-on. Using the sausage's healing and flight abilities, they dodged Yao Mei's attacks, attacking whenever they found an opening, depleting her strength. This left Yao Mei feeling like she was hitting cotton, unable to strike. Furthermore, the simultaneous deployment of her domain consumed Yao Mei's soul power immensely. Even with Hulina's Soul Emperor status, she still consumed 50% of it. Ma Hongjin's soul power consumption was minimal, as he had been conserving his strength, while Oscar's had been significantly depleted. He needed to support Ma Hongjin's stats. Once Yao Mei's time ran out, they would secure victory. Damn it, Hulina cursed inwardly. The enemy's tactics were truly disgusting and cunning, yet incredibly effective. She felt a little powerless. Hulina prepared to release the red fog and team up with her teammates to eliminate a few more Shrek team members before slowly dealing with Ma Hongjin and Oscar. The red fog began to dissipate, and the Spirit Masters present to her the voices of Ma Hongjin, Oscar, and Yao Mei. Ma Hongjin and Oscar looked disheveled. Ma Hongjin's clothes bore several scratches, as did Oscar's, though Oscar's condition was worse, having depleted more spirit power. How is this possible? Impossible. Yao Mei realized her teammates had been eliminated after reconnecting with her red fog. Yao Mei's red fog allowed her to see what was happening outside, but she was focused on dealing with Oscar and Ma Hongjin, neglecting her teammates. Furthermore, Yao Mei trusted her teammates. In a 5-on-5 situation, especially with two support-type opponents, even if she possessed the abilities of a combat spirit master, her combat effectiveness would undoubtedly be inferior to that of a pure combat spirit master. They would always prioritize supporting their immediate teammates, so it was a 3-on-5 situation. But how could a 3-on-5 battle end so quickly? Furthermore, the other 5 members of the Shrek team were in excellent condition. With the exception of Yang Wu, whose shirt had been ripped by the flames, revealing his muscular build, the other members were in excellent shape. Hulina and Ziyu were horrified by the scene. Their teammates had been dispatched so quickly, and the other team hadn't even breathed a breath. How could they possibly fight? You damned. At this moment, Yao Mei could only rage helplessly. She clenched her moon blade, her rage reaching its peak. Hey, that's her strategy. Why do you think Xiao Ao and I have been nagging you? It's to let my brothers and sisters handle your teammates. Just as you trust your teammates won't be dealt with so quickly, I trust my teammates can quickly handle the other 5, Ma Hongjin declared proudly. Trusting one's teammates is the first lesson for any team spirit master. Li Luochen's training had made them a united force, unbreakable. Damn it. Don't think you've won. I haven't lost yet. Hulina's face was already flushed, and she was ready to give it her all. Hey, super recovery sausages. Oscar condensed 4 more sausages and threw them to Ma Hongjin, Zhu's Huking, Yu Xiangxin, and Yang Wu. After finishing these sausages, Oscar couldn't hold on any longer and sat down on the ground, saying with a smile, "Next, it's up to you. We should give Director Li a satisfactory answer." That referee, send me off. Oscar was exhausted. He had done everything he could, drained all his soul power, but he had done everything. At this moment, Ma Hongjin, Zhu's Huking, Yu Xiangxin, and Yang Wu consumed the super recovery sausages, and their injuries and soul power recovered. Zhu's Huking was even more restored to peak condition. 9 treasures have names. 1 is strength, 2 is speed, 3 is soul, and 4 is control. Ningrongrong immediately transferred all 4 of her auxiliary powers to her teammates. Yilingling did the same. The 9-hearted begonia blossomed, and the soul power began to increase. 9 hearts, soul ascension. At this moment, the 4 main members of the Shrek team were at peak form. Ma Hongjin's strength was approaching that of a soul sage, while the other 3 had reached the level of advanced soul king. Don't get complacent. Full moon. Yao Mei used Ziyu's own soul skill, full moon. This unique soul skill, developed by Ziyu, is characterized by its perfect round shape. When used, it resembles a white full moon, a result of Ziyu wielding 2 moon blades spinning at an astonishing speed. Ziyu can perform this skill alone or through his spirit fusion technique, the Yao Mei state. The full moon performed in Yao Mei state is Ziyu's most powerful move. He once defeated his teacher, a level 68 Soul Emperor, upon breaking through the 5th ring Soul King stage, earning him the title of the Spirit Hall's leading young generation. Due to its immense power, the full moon is also known as the flawless soul skill. The full moon, now wielded by Yao Mei, once held a draw against a soul Douluo. Such a formidable force is no easy task. At this moment, the demon transformed the moon blade into a circle and began to spin, its speed increasing, its blade amplifying with power, like a full moon. Seeing the situation becoming increasingly difficult, Mo Hongjin and Zhu Ziyuking summoned their external soul bones, while Yu Xiangxin transformed his arms into dragons. The soul-breaking spear in Yang Wu's hand burned with intense black flames. Yang Wu's eyes gleamed with excitement. The greatest scanner of this Soul Master competition was Yang Wu. His spear intent and aura had greatly improved, and he had even mastered 2 of the 6 fighting styles passed down to him by Li Luochen. He had even developed the rudiments of his own soul skills, making him the ultimate winner of this Soul Master competition. Yang Wu then kicked his foot, spear in hand, and lunged at the demon with his spear. Shock, penetrate, explode, soul, shatter. Yang Wu unleashed the signature skills of the Puyi clan, combining all his soul skills, abandoning all defenses and unleashing his most powerful attack. Ling. The collision of the moon blade and the soul-breaking spear produced a violent display of sparks, but Yang Wu was at a disadvantage. Even with the full support of the 2 beautiful girls, his opponent's martial soul fusion technique proved incredibly difficult to defeat. Blue Lightning Dragon Sprint. Netherworld Spider God Slash, Phoenix Cloud Piercing Strike. The other Shrek members were also busy. The demon had revealed a flaw, they had to take advantage. Damn it. 1000 Strength Ant Emperor's Torso Bone Skill, 1000 Strength Barrier, Clang. Hulina used her Torso Bone skill to block 3 powerful attacks, but her own soul power was dwindling, and her martial soul fusion technique was about to dissipate. The Shrek team's victory was sealed. Alright, a cold voice echoed, instantly dispelling the attacks of the combatants and extinguishing their fighting spirit. This advanced Soul Master competition. The winner is Shrek Academy. BB Dong announced the champion of this competition. The Spirit Hall Academy had already lost, and Hulina and her team had no chance of winning. BB Dong could only venture anger on a boy named Li. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 230, Divided Soul Bone. BB Dong's words echoed throughout the Pope's Hall, and everyone present was stunned for a moment. Then, the Shrek team erupted in excitement. Li Luochen leaped from his seat, pointing his finger to the sky and shouting. Yet, Li Luochen's gesture left the surrounding title Douluo a little bewildered, but considering he was still a 20-year-old, it was normal. Li Luochen's thinking was, if you're happy, just shout it out, there's no need to hold it in or feel wronged. However, BB Dong's gaze on Li Luochen was cold, as she was already thinking about how to teach this brat a lesson. Flanders' eyes welled up with tears, his academy had finally taken an epic step forward. Qin Ming was equally moved. He had once felt lost for not participating in the Continental Advanced Spirit Master competition, but now, leading his juniors to victory, it was an honor. Tears welled up in the eyes of several senior students from Shrek Academy. It hadn't been easy, their juniors had truly accomplished it. At this moment, Yao Mei also released her spirit fusion technique, splitting into Ziyu and Hulina. Hulina's face was pale and deeply lost, feeling she had failed her teacher's teachings. The siblings left the competition venue in silence. Meanwhile, BB Dong and the other title Douluos arrived. BB Dong carefully observed each member of the Shrek team. After a silent nod, She concluded that their spirit and energy were indeed much higher than those of the spirit hall team. Zhu Daoluo's nose twitched, and then he glanced at Li Luochen and said, "Elder Li, you students smell of quite a few immortal herbs. Let me take a look. Nether Ghost Flower, 9th rank Immortal Lotus, that fire-attributed one should be Coxcomb Phoenix Sunflower, as well as Red Spider Lily, Kilo Tulip, and 8-petal Immortal Orchid. Tisk, 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 so many immortal herbs. Could Elder Li have found the legendary treasure land?" Zhu Daoluo's words startled the other titled Daoluos, while Li Luochen chuckled softly. "Of course they found it. It's the yin-yang eye of ice and fire, one of the 3 great treasure pots. It was found by the 8th priest. Zhu Daoluo is also a flower lover, so you can talk to the 8th priest and then go see it." Zhu Daoluo's face lit up with excitement upon hearing this. He cherished flowers and plants because of his spirit, and he also knew a great deal about rare treasures and immortal herbs. Zhu Daoluo was the foremost expert in pharmacology within the spirit hall. He personally designed the medicinal baths used by the descendants of the priests and the younger generation of the spirit hall, giving him a high status within the spirit hall. Not only had he reached level 95, but his spirit fusion technique with Elder Ghost Daoluo was also exceptional. Furthermore, his exceptional medical knowledge could help cultivate many young prodigies in the spirit hall. "May I ask if there's any strange mushroom sky-high chrysanthemum?" Zhu Daoluo asked cautiously. "Of course there are, but I ate the mature one. There's still one over there that hasn't matured yet. It should take about 10 years to mature." "How about Elder Zhu cultivate it yourself?" Li Luochen pondered carefully. Thanks to Douluo's flower cultivation and his meticulous care for the yin-yang eyes of ice and fire, the immortal herbs have already grown back. They should mature again in about 10 years. "Great, great," Zhu Daoluo agreed immediately. Flower cultivation was one of his greatest passions. Seeing his partner's expression, Ghost Daoluo smiled and shook his head, thinking, "Looks like the workload has increased in Elder Zhu's absence." Bibi Dong heard this, but she wasn't very interested. Her own disciples had already consumed the most suitable immortal herbs, and her own soul power reached level 99, with the next step being divine enlightenment. There was no need for this. The only person who might need it was his little grandson, Li Chengqian. But Li Luochen would definitely give his son the best, so there was no need to worry. The final champion of this year's Continental Advanced Soul Master Academy Elite Competition is Shrek Academy. Congratulations, talented young Soul Masters. Captains of the Shrek team, step out and claim your prize, Bibi Dong said calmly. Oscar was still lying outside the arena, so Ma Hongjin had to go and claim it. 3 soul bones shone from the scepter in Bibi Dong's hand, and she handed them to Ma Hongjin. "You are all the hope of future soul masters. I wish you greater success. May you soon enter the Douluo Palace and receive your title." Bibi Dong offered no wooing words, there was no need. She was about to give Shrek Academy's most powerful man a beating. If she beat him into submission, everyone else would follow suit. Sensing the powerful aura of the 3 soul bones, Ma Hongjin took the brocade plate. Though he felt a surge of desire, it wasn't overwhelming. 3 soul bones. 3 soul bones. Greedy glances shone from all sides. What soul master wouldn't be tempted by the sight of soul bones? Ma Hongjin practically walked back to his companions amidst a sea of greedy gazes. Then, Ma Hongjin looked at Li Luochen, who, naturally, noticed him too. He then came over to Ma Hongjin and took the spirit bone. The greedy glances immediately vanished. It was a shame that strength was so useful. The Continental Advanced Spirit Master Competition is over. Students from each academy can leave Spirit City one after another, Bibi Dong said, and then left. Ahem, everyone from Shrek Academy, follow me. Li Luochen coughed softly and followed Bibi Dong. The Shrek team members were also confused. In the end, they all went, and Yu Xiangxin even went to the audience to carry Oscar back. The Shrek team members, including their team leader Qin Ming, followed. As for Flanders and the other teachers, they headed straight to Spirit City for a drink. They were going to have a good time today. Ning Fengzi, noticing that his daughter hadn't left, also headed to the Pope's palace, and so did Yu Luomian. The latest novels are first published on the 6th book forum. Bibi Dong returned to the Pope's palace, her brow furrowed. What had that brat brought so many people back with him? She stared at Li Luochen, implying she'd beat him to death if he didn't give her an explanation. Ahem, classmates, I brought you to the Pope's palace to give you some soul bones. After all, it's not safe out there. With His Holiness the Pope in charge, you don't have to worry about absorbing soul bones directly. Li Luochen's words made Bibi Dong's brows relax. She's a caretaker, right, but the last part about the Pope being here, saying the palace is safe, was particularly helpful. Ning Fengzi, Jian Daoluo, and Yu Luomian were speechless. How dare you, kid, he just won the Pope's soul bones, and now he's trying this again. Aren't you afraid of death? Li Luochen. I'm not afraid of death, I'm afraid of being beaten. You all performed very well this time, so most of you will receive rewards. Forget about Hongjin and Xiaoyo. There's no suitable one, and I know your soul bones, so it's unnecessary. Oscar and Ma Hongjin both nodded. They indeed had quite a few soul bones. First, the 3 soul bones awarded for winning the competition. The wisdom skull, a symbol of concentrated spiritual energy, goes to Yilingling. Keep it safe. The wind-chasing left leg bone, a symbol of 35,000 years of extreme speed, goes to Jingling. The explosive left arm bone, a symbol of 35,000 years of burning flames, goes to teacher Qin Ming. Li Luochen arranged the soul bones, but Qin Ming disagreed. Xiachen, I didn't participate in the competition, so I shouldn't have received a soul bone. This soul bone would be perfect for Hongjin, but I don't want it. Qin Ming was anxious. After all, the distribution of soul bones this time seemed a bit unreasonable. Old Qin, why are you so anxious? Hongjin has her left arm bone, which is better than this one. You're the only one with a fire attribute here, so of course it's yours, Qin Ming, so no one wants it. I take it back. Next are the spirit bones from my collection. Wrong. This is a 20,000-year-old illusion skull, a gemstone type had spirit bone perfect for you. Xinian was killed by Li Luochen long ago, though the author didn't mention the snap of a finger. Zhuking, this 48,000-year-old swift wind-chasing right leg bone is perfect for you. Xiangxin, this clear sky sect exploding thunder left arm bone is for you. Yang Wu, this clear sky sect strength right arm bone is for you. Niu Dun, this clear sky sect heritage left leg bone is for you. These are the 3 great inherited spirit bones of the clear sky sect, and it can be considered revenge for you. Dai Mu Bei, this is a 10,000-year-old tiger right arm bone. Wang Yuan, this is a 20,000-year-old king wolf left leg bone. Jiangzhu, this is a 20,000-year-old spiritually concentrated wisdom skull. All of you, absorb them right here. Li Luochen took out so many spirit bones in one go, practically giving them to all the students, which left the title Daoluo Present dumbfounded. Ning Fengzi and Jian Daoluo both recognized that some of the bones were from the original trade with Li Luochen. His 7 treasures glazed tile sect was running low on 10,000-year soul bones. However, seeing Li Luochen give his daughter a gemstone-shaped head soul bone, he felt like a good deal. Li Luochen didn't have any 10,000-year soul bones left at the moment, they'd been drained. Bibi Dong was also bewildered. How could this brat have hidden so much? Was he kidding? They had to rob him. Chapter 231 The Great Improvement of Everyone. Li Luochen distributed all his spirit bones. Only Ma Hongjin and Oscar didn't receive any, but everyone else got some, including Dai Mu Bei. Li Luochen had already told Ma Hongjin and Oscar that they didn't have any spirit bones this time, and since they already had more than enough, they needed more compatible ones. The biggest beneficiaries were actually Yu Xiangxin, Yang Wu, Niu Dun, Zhu Zhuking, and Yi Lingling. The spirit bones they received were of the highest quality. The 3 most inherited spirit bones of the Haoshan sect all fell into Li Luochen's hands, the right arm bone, left arm bone, and left leg bone, all over 70,000 years old. Zhu Zhuking received a 48,000-year-old right leg bone, perfect for her agility attack type. Yi Lingling received her head spirit bone, which significantly boosted her mental power, greatly increasing her auxiliary abilities and granting her mental attack. Bibi Dong, seated on the Pope's throne, watched the Shrek team absorb spirit bones, feeling deeply annoyed. So many spirit bones. All over 10,000 years old? Just giving them away? What a waste. Will Changjin not need them anymore? It seems like giving Changjin a full set of 100,000-year soul bones wouldn't be out of the question. Li Luochen sat casually, guarding his students. After absorbing these soul bones, Zhu Zhuking and Yu Xiangxin might be able to break through to level 50 directly. Yi Lingling and Ning Rongrong were even closer, likely reaching the 50th level within a year. The others had made significant progress, which was excellent. Afterwards, They would be given a long vacation to travel. Those who needed to return to the sect would return, while those who needed to travel would travel. 3 years from now, when they reunited at Shrek Academy, Li Yusong figured he couldn't stay in seclusion for that long. 2 or 3 years would be enough at most. Li Yusong planned to condense his spiritual soul core during this direct breakthrough to level 90. He would then absorb the dragon pill and use it as a precursor to condense his attribute soul core, using the yin-yang complementary soul core method. Although the current soul core method only condenses a single soul core, unless Golden Crocodile Douluo successfully condenses an isotopic resonant soul core and reaches level 99, then a complete soul core method would be achieved. As for the yin-yang complementary soul core, it was completely unfounded. Li Yusong, relying on his status as the Shura God's favorite progeny, was acting recklessly. Even if he failed, the Shura God would rescue him. Li Yusong planned to proceed with confidence. If successful, it would usher in an epic transformation in the Soul Master world. The title Douluo would no longer be so noble, and the bottleneck of level 90 would be much easier. In just a few hundred years, the Douluo Continent's power would likely reach the level of 10,000 years from now, and the number of title Douluo would greatly increase. However, by then, Li Yusong would no longer be able to control it. Among those sitting cross-legged in the Pope's Hall absorbing soul bones, Douluo was the first to awaken. The 10,000-year-old right arm bone he absorbed was approximately 10,000 to 3,000 years old, so it absorbed quickly. With his soul power increased by half a level, Douluo felt that his right arm strength had increased significantly, giving him a significant advantage in his next battle with Davis. Douluo was deeply grateful to Li Yusong. He had clearly been rude and insulting Du Guyan, despite receiving a beating and severely injuring him. But he still didn't send him away. He continued to train as usual, treating him the same. During the pre-competition training camp, Li Yusong held him to extremely high standards, pointing out the areas he needed to improve. Douluo was truly speechless in his gratitude for Li Yusong's generosity. He could tell his fiancée, Zhu Huqing, was interested in him. As a seasoned courtesan, he understood that look all too well. Zhu Huqing's gaze was reserved, yet the emotion was unmistakable. Everyone at Shrek Academy, save for the two straight men, Yang Wu and Niu Dun, could see it. Li Yusong saw it too, but he kept it to himself. To say he didn't like Zhu Huqing at all would be a lie. Zhu Huqing's looks and figure were too outrageous. Li Yusong was a normal man, a former idiot, and it was impossible not to be moved. He wasn't some selfless sage. Li Yusong had always understood that he was immortal. He had been captivated by Du Guyan and then by Jin Rinxu's stunning beauty. He was definitely not one for loyalty. Li Yusong had considered this. He wasn't as devoted as Tang San. Aside from Xia Wu, the others were all sycophants. Li Yusong, on the other hand, simply married the woman he loved. You like me, I like you, why hide it in your heart? Douluo knew this was the nature of the relationship. For the sake of his dignity as a man, he chose to confront Zhu Huqing and then duel her. The result was obvious, he was defeated in less than 10 rounds. Zhu Huqing had shattered his heart of strength, his chauvinism, and his pride, leaving Douluo feeling depressed for a long time. It wasn't until he defeated Davis that he regained his spirit. Douluo decided not to run away. After graduation, he planned to travel alone and fight Davis. He wasn't afraid of just having a wife. Li Yusong once said, as long as you're strong enough, all rules and regulations are meaningless. Douluo decided to work hard to improve his own strength and break the fate of the Xingluo royal family breeding goo. Then, the Shrek Academy students woke up one after another. Qin Ming was already level 79, but after absorbing the shattered left arm bone, burned by 35,000 years of flame, his spirit power successfully reached 80. Now 35, Qin Ming is almost 36, tying Tang Hao's previous record. Perhaps he could reach title Douluo before 44. Li Yusong had already figured out how to rapidly strengthen them, though he himself would have to reach title Douluo first. Ningrongrong and Yilingling had also awakened, Ningrongrong reaching level 49 and Yilingling reaching level 49.5. Both were perfectly matched to their head spirit bones, significantly boosting their mental power and supporting abilities, and also granting them a powerful offensive spirit skill. The latest novels are now available on the 6-9 book forum. Yu Xiangxin, Yang Wu, and Niu Dun absorbed the inherited soul bones of the Haoshan sect. These soul bones, due to their age, possessed exceptional soul power. Yu Xiangxin and Yang Wu both reached the Soul King level, with Yang Wu advancing 2 levels to reach level 53. Zhu Huking also awakened, reaching soul power level 50, and her speed increased significantly. For agility attack soul masters like her, leg bones are crucial. Li Luochen had selfish motives for Yu Lingling and Zhu Huking, the 2 women who loved him. He had already planned how to train them. Previously, Li Luochen had knocked Xiao Wu unconscious and placed her in a medicine jar under the care of Du Gubo. Xiao Wu's soul rings and soul bones were the perfect match for Zhu Huking, but she wasn't yet ready to hunt and absorb. Zhu Huking would need to reach the soul Douluo level before she could absorb Xiao Wu's soul rings and soul bones, which would take too long. Li Luochen considered offering Xiao Wu a sacrifice, but this would require Xiao Wu's willingness. Unless a spiritual Douluo could directly control Xiao Wu and make her voluntarily sacrifice herself to Zhu Huking, Li Luochen was clearly a reckless man. While his spiritual power was formidable, he certainly couldn't achieve this. However, Li Luochen thought of the Shura God mark on his forehead. He could unleash the ultimate skill of the killing god domain, the Shura God's appearance, and ask the Shura God to take his place. Li Luochen felt he could still summon the Shura God. As for Yu Lingling, her 7th spirit ring had absorbed the 85,000-year-old Blue-Silver King from the Blue-Silver Forest. The Blue-Silver King's immense vitality was perfectly suited to Yu Lingling, allowing her to achieve 100,000-year-old 8th and 9th spirit rings. Chapter 232, Sending Bones to Escape. Li Luochen looked at the Shrek group before him, delighted at their significant improvement. Meanwhile, Bibi Dong, seated on the Pope's throne, stared at him with a sullen expression. Li Luochen suddenly felt a chill on his back and swallowed. Gulp. Getting a little carried away, he felt he needed to quickly coax them out, or his imposing image would be shattered. Ahem, fellow students, now that your soul bones have been absorbed, you can leave. I suggest you go have a meal in Spirit City and relax. The academy will cover the expenses. Li Luochen coughed and unpacked his plan. Great, so, when will Director Li arrive? Zhu Huking suddenly asked. Me? I'll be there shortly. I have more pressing matters to attend to. This is the Haotian sect looking for trouble. I need to discuss with His Holiness the Pope how to eliminate this cancer of the Soul Master world. Li Luochen spoke enigmatically, his hands clasped behind his back. Zhu Huking and Yu Lingling's eyes sparkled when they saw him. He was powerful, handsome, polite, well-spoken, respectful to women, knowledgeable, and had a broad perspective. Zhu Huking and Yu Lingling simply loved such a high-quality man. As for where Du Guyan went, she didn't enter the Pope's palace, but carried Li Chengqian to find Jin Ringsu. Li Chengqian was hungry and needed Jin Ringsu to squeeze in. After sending everyone from Shrek Academy away, the temperature in the Pope's palace dropped immediately. Li Luochen teleported to Bibi Dong's side, massaging her shoulders and legs. He had become a completely different person, completely and vividly implementing the school motto of Shrek Academy, follow your heart when you encounter something that cannot be violated. Well, mother, I know that head soul bone is a gift you prepared for your disciple. I'll compensate you with one, okay? Don't get angry, it's harmful, Li Luochen said earnestly. After all, if Bibi Dong really beat him, he might have to get out of bed in 3 days. He could probably escape a beating by just talking, not by relying on his thick skin. Okay, that skull of concentrated wisdom is over 50,000 years old, very close to 60,000. It's worth more than a 90,000-year-old right arm bone. Are you sure you can afford it? And there's no need for the right arm bone, left leg bone, or torso bone. Nana already has them. I only want the head soul bone. Don't try to fool me with that junk. Bibi Dong crossed her legs and spoke leisurely. She didn't believe Li Luochen could produce a decent soul bone. He couldn't escape this beating. By then, Bibi Dong had replaced the Pope's scepter with a Rakshasa scythe. She held the Rakshasa scythe in her hand and closed her eyes to rest. Li Luochen pointed at the soul guide on his neck, and a white-pink head soul bone emerged. Its soul power surged so powerfully that Bibi Dong, who had been resting, immediately opened her eyes. Ahem, mother, this is a 65,000-year-old three-eyed demon fox skull of concentrated spirit and charm. I think it's more suitable for Hulina than the one of concentrated spirit and wisdom. I offer this to you. Can you please put that artifact away for now? Bibi Dong looked at the head soul bone and could clearly sense that it was brand new, unabsorbed. The soul power surges it emitted were extremely powerful. 65,000 years was an extremely old age. At least there was no better hud soul bone in the spirit hall's treasury. Bibi Dong herself had a treasured 50,000-year-old skull of concentrated spirit and charm. This was intended as compensation for Hulina. Now she had something better. 65,000 years was enough to significantly enhance her spirit power and charm abilities. Bibi Dong had already begun to think. She still had a piece of the 1,000-tire ant emperor's right arm bone in her possession, so she decided to give it to Hulina along with the hud soul bone. By then, her 7th soul ring should be able to bypass the level and absorb an 80,000-year soul ring, and the 8th and 9th soul rings could find 100,000-year soul rings. Unfortunately, Bibi Dong had received news of a 100,000-year-old red firefox in the southern region of the Star Dou Great Forest, but no other fox-like soul beasts had been sighted. That red firefox had only reached the 100,000-year level within the last 100 years, so its strength wasn't particularly strong. Hulina already possessed 4 body soul bones and 1 external soul bone. The 8th and 900,000-year soul rings would fill the remaining 2 soul bone slots, potentially qualifying her for deification. If that wasn't possible, she could guide her to deification herself. According to the Rakshasa god, a first-level deity at the level of a major deity could bring 2 family members into the divine realm. Her family consisted of her daughter and grandson. Jinrinksu would eventually reach the 100th level inheritance angel godhood, so there was no need to worry. Even the scoundrel Li Luochen was favored by the gods and should be able to begin his divine examination soon, so there was no need to worry. Bibi Dong was only worried about Hulina. Back to reality, since you're so filial, this won't happen again. You can leave now, Bibi Dong said with a cold snort. Okay, mother, there's something I've been wanting to say. You are like a brilliant star, illuminating the hearts of countless people. Your dignity and honor captivate the entire Douluo Continent. Your beauty and grace are like the world's most precious works of art, unforgettable upon sight. Your very presence is a form of unparalleled beauty and majesty. I dare say there has never been a pope as beautiful as you in the history of the Spirit Hall. The latest novel is being published on the 6-9 book bar. Your wisdom is as profound as the ocean, your foresight is far-sighted, and every decision you make is like a beacon, guiding the Spirit Hall towards prosperity and success. Under your wise leadership, the Spirit Hall is at its peak, and the people are united in their love. Your courage and insight have solved countless difficult problems, earning immense admiration. You can be called the strongest, most beautiful, and most authoritative pope in history. You are not only a great ruler, but also a loving mother to all people. Your kindness and care, like warm sunshine, illuminate every corner. May you live a long and healthy life, and write a glorious page in the history of soul masters. Bibi Dong was extremely pleased with Li Luochen's flattery. It's not that no one praises her like this, it depends on who is praising her. Uzai Gang? Sorry, he didn't know how to do anything except ask about her well-being, and his eloquence was not as good as Li Luochen's, a liberal arts student. A professional match. In terms of strength, Li Luochen is even better than her when she was young. But even such a person has to call her mother and diligently make her happy. Anyway, on Douluo Continent, there are at least 8,000 people who praise her, but none of them are as eloquent as Li Luochen. The most important thing is that this is one of their own. A son-in-law is half a son, and Bibi Dong feels the most benefited when he is praised by one of her own. Okay, that's all I need to know. Why tell it? I'm tired and need some sleep. Luochen, please leave, Bibi Dong said gently, her cheerful mood evident. Yes, son, take your leave. Li Luochen's heels were as if greased, and he disappeared immediately. Bibi Dong ignored him. Her mind was spinning. The most beautiful pope? Maybe the most beautiful emperor in the future. I must let this kid write the edict for registration. Such a talented writer should be used in this way. Bibi Dong was in a very good mood. She planned to take a bath first, then get some beauty sleep. She had completely forgotten to give the head soul bone to Hulina. Chapter 233 Party. Bibi Dong returned to the hall for a beauty sleep, while Li Luochen headed to the Spirit Hall's largest restaurant. The bills here were even higher than in Xiandao City, but since the Shrek Academy's bills were kept, the students didn't skimp at all. Just spending. Ma Hongjin might not be fat anymore, but that doesn't mean he's a small eater. He's always had a big appetite. He could even eat a whole cow. His appetite is roughly equivalent to 8 Oscars, and Oscar's appetite is roughly equivalent to 3 full-grown men. Ma Hongjin was in charge of ordering. Since it was the Academy's treat, he had to spend lavishly. He had dishes like braised earth dragon tendons, braised bear paws, and 5-spice whale oil. There were quite a few Shrek Academy students with huge appetites: Ma Hongjin, Yu Xiangxin, Yang Wu, Niu Dun, Wang Yuan, and Oscar. Their eating habits were truly unsightly. The girls were more ladylike, but they also ate very quickly. Now that we've won the championship, what will Director Li do with us? Wang Yuan asked. Niu Dun, continue training. Yang Wu, that's impossible. Yu Xiangxin, will he let us go out and gain experience? After all, the competition is just a small fight. A real fight between soul masters would be far more terrifying. Ma Hongjin and Oscar listened silently. As Li Luochun's two oldest disciples, they could probably guess something. Aha! Director Li makes a grand entrance. I heard you were studying me behind my back. Li Luochun suddenly appeared in the box, accompanied by a cloud of smoke. This smoke was water vapor created by Li Luochun using the elements of fire and water. It had no effect, only made people burn. Director XN, the students at Shrek Academy all stood up and showed their respect to Li Luochun. Haha, sit down. Don't be so polite. During normal academy training, I'm the director. During leisure time, I'm your big brother and your brother. Don't take it too seriously. Sit down, sit down, sit down, eat. Li Luochun sat down and began to eat. After all, the food in the spirit hall was indeed quite good. The seasoning might not be as good as that of the ancient civilization, but the ingredients were of high quality. The world of cultivation was truly wonderful. After 3 rounds of drinks, just now you came in, you were discussing what to do after the competition, right? Ho ha, you've successfully graduated from the inner court. I'll be in seclusion for the next few years to achieve title Douluo. So I don't have time to teach you. Besides, your foundation is already established, so you don't need it, Li Luochun said with a smile, taking a sip of his wine. Everyone at Shrek Academy was stunned. What had they heard? Li Luochun was about to achieve title Douluo? How old was he? 20 at most. Title Douluo at 20? What a joke. The youngest title Douluo to achieve that level was 44. However, that person has already been killed by Li Luochun and is still hanging on the gate of Wuhan City. So, I'll set you up for a leisurely quest, lasting 3 years. After 3 years, I'll meet you at Shrek Academy and find you a great place to quickly improve your spirit power. That place is excellent, allowing you to quickly reach the level of Soul Douluo or even Title Douluo. Of course, the rewards are generous, but they also come with dangers. 3 years should be enough time for you to quickly improve and become qualified to venture forth. I'll look forward to seeing you again next time, with all of you Soul Emperors. Of course, Daimyo Bei, Jiangzhu, Wang Yuan, and Jingling don't count. Ideally, you'll reach the level of High Soul King. Yes, X and everyone at Shrek Academy was thrilled. Li Luochun had recognized them, allowing them to travel the continent for 3 years and then gather back to help them grow again. The gathering lasted until midnight. Everyone at Shrek, arm in arm, returned to the hotel. Li Luochun left Zhu Zhuking and Yu Lingling alone, as he had something to discuss with them. Zhuking, Lingling has asked you to stay here alone because I have something important to tell you. First, Zhuking, you're now a Soul King and possess 2 soul bones. Your 5th soul ring should be around 35,000 years old. You can choose from a ghost tiger, a shadow leopard, or other soul beasts. As for reaching level 60, don't rush to obtain your 6th soul ring. I've already prepared it for you. We'll discuss this later. Anyway, there's no need to rush to obtain soul rings after you reach level 60. You can continue your cultivation as usual. You can accumulate soul power even without a soul ring. You have 2 soul bones, so accumulating this little soul power won't damage your meridians. I'll obtain your 6th soul ring after I emerge from seclusion. As for Lingling, you're about the same age as Zhuking, but you're only at your 7th soul ring. Don't worry. I suggest you follow Yanzi to the treasured land to cultivate. I'll talk to her later. She'll take you there. As for your soul rings, they shouldn't be a problem. Yanzi is very powerful and more than enough to help you obtain your 5th and 6th soul rings. 3 years of cultivation there will likely allow you to quickly break through to level 70. Do you two understand? As for why I'm giving you special treatment, there's a reason. I know the way you looked at me. Li Luochun bluntly stated this, causing the 2 girls, who had been so solemn just now, to instantly turn into steamy girls, their faces red as persimmons. Of course I know you two like me. I also have some feelings for you too, but I can't give you a satisfactory answer at the moment. Wait a few years. I have a lot to do, but I promise I will never let you down. Since you like me, you can't run away. The latest novels will be released first on the 69th book bar. After saying this, Li Luochen hugged the two girls. The two girls seemed to be stimulated, but after feeling a strong body, their hands slowly came up and hugged Li Luochen's waist, aka Yanya. Li Luochen turned his head and saw, of course, the two wives of his family, Du Guyan and Jin Ringsu, as well as Li Luochen's son Li Chengqian. However, is this bloody romance plot suitable to be spit out from your mouths? What's the matter? You must have read too many novels. Why should I abandon you? You two young ladies are the apple of my eye. Abandon you? Am I tired of living? It's just that I was drunk today and spilled everything. I guess you are the kind of straightforward person who doesn't like beating around the bush. Li Luochen spread his hands and said. Tisk, boring. The lines that Zuir and I thought about for so long are so harmless? Forget it, you're going to retreat soon anyway, and the retreat will be so long, and you have to pay your dues. 1 year's payment at a time, Du Guyan said with 34D. Are you sure? Don't beg for mercy then. Li Luochen narrowed his eyes and said lightly. Who's afraid of who? Okay, as you said, I've been in high spirits these days. Li Luochen hugged Jin Ringsu and Du Guyan back to the room. As for Li Chengqian, well, Li Luochen asked Hulina to take him to Bibidong. Chapter 234 Retreat. Late in the night after the Soul Master competition, a thrilling battle to subdue demons unfolded. The stick demon wielded his immense power to subdue the two demons, Azure Dragon and Angel. Angel was the first to fall, leaving Azure Dragon to withstand the pressure alone. At noon the next day, Angel regained consciousness and rejoined the battle, giving Azure Dragon time to rest. However, he was defeated again after just 3 hours. This defeat caused Angel to vomit water 3 feet high, shocking Azure Dragon and the stick demon within the room. With Angel defeated, Azure Dragon took the battle again. This time, Azure Dragon unleashed his full power, his body covered in dragon scales, his head adorned with dragon horns and a dragon tail. He threatened to die alongside the stick demon, but the clever stick demon discovered Azure Dragon's weakness, its horns. Seizing the horns, the stick demon bravely subdued the demon. By the morning of the third day, he decisively defeated Azure Dragon, causing him to foam at the mouth 3 times, his eyes rolling back as he passed out. At this moment, Angel regained consciousness and, seeing his good teammate Azure Dragon defeated, was about to kneel and beg for mercy, but it was too late. At noon on the third day, Angel also foamed at the mouth, his eyes rolled back, and he passed out. The stick demon's demon subduing chronicles ended. For the next period, Li Luochen went directly to the yin-yang eye of ice and fire for a retreat. It was Li Luochen's lucky spot, and he felt it had good feng shui. As for Du Guyan and Jin Ringsu, they were nursing their kidneys, their bones practically broken by the dryness. They had truly experienced the true nature of animals. They realized that having a few more sisters might not be a bad idea. One more sister would help with the pressure. With them, they were afraid they would collapse in bed sooner or later. They didn't want to faint again. The toll on their body and minds was too great. Who said there's no such thing as a plowed field, only an exhausted ox? Come out and try the Azure Dragon Claw and the Angel's Holy Sword. Both of their fields were about to be ruined by the plowing. Du Guyan wasn't afraid of childbirth, believing it would be easy and natural. Meanwhile, Bibidong had spent the past 2 days caring for her child. That night, while she was getting her beauty sleep, Hulina suddenly arrived in her bedroom. Hulina was the only one who had unimpeded access to Bibidong's room. Seeing Li Chengqian in Hulina's arms, Bibidong was stunned. Then, a thought struck her, and it appeared on her white forehead. With a cold snort, she embraced Li Chengqian. Seeing Hulina's dismay, Bibidong realized she had forgotten something. She then gave Hulina the charming skill of spirit condensation, dropped by the pink-white three-eyed demon fox. Hulina, upon seeing the soul bone, was eager to receive it, but she felt she had suffered a crushing defeat and had failed to live up to her teacher's teachings. She couldn't bear the thought. Seeing Hulina's dismay, Bibidong suddenly had an idea. Nana, this soul bone was given to me by Li Luochen as compensation. I was originally going to give you the contest prize, The skull of wisdom concentrated by spirit, but that brat Li Luochen snatched it up. And now, for the teacher's sake, he's offering me this apology, a 65,000-year-old head soul bone. It's incredibly valuable. He's smart enough to know how to compensate? Hey, Nana, are you listening again? Nana, Hulina's mood had brightened up. She'd only just heard that this soul bone was given by Li Luochen, and she'd made the connection. Knowing she'd lost her head soul bone, she'd immediately received a replacement. It was the head soul bone dropped by the three-eyed demon fox that suited her best. She specialized in the art of enchantment, focusing on mental control, and the skull of enchanted by spirit concentration given by Li Luochen was the perfect match. Hulina's first thought was, he has feelings for me, but he's just not comfortable expressing them. The thought gave her a silly chuckle. Seeing Hulina's infatuated expression, Bidong immediately lost the will to say anything and threw her out of the boudoir. The thought of her daughter and apprentice both obsessed with that boy made her furious. Sunset Forest, Yin-Yang Eyes of Ice and Fire. When the two arrived at Yin-Yang Eyes of Ice and Fire, Yilingling was overjoyed to see everything before her. She had never imagined that such a precious place existed in the world. Yilingling summoned the nine-heart begonia and felt the joy brought by her martial spirit. She felt that one day of training here was equivalent to half a month in the simulated training environment of Shrek Academy. She was confident that she could reach the level of Soul Sage in 3 years, and by then she might even be at the top of the team. On the surface, Yilingling was a gentle, weak, quiet and beautiful girl. In fact, she was a gentle, weak and beautiful girl, but she was strong at heart. She had always been protected by her teammates, and she also wanted to protect them. Yilingling recalled what Li Luochen had said when he taught her alone. Li Luochen, Lingling, your nine-hearted begonia flaw has been corrected, but you're still a vulnerable support type. There are several ways to avoid being protected by others. Let me explain them one by one. First, reach soul power level 99 and become a limit Douluo. At this level, unless you encounter a limit Douluo of the same level, your limit Douluo soul power is enough to sweep away any opponent at level 98. The latest novel is first published on the 69th book bar. Whether he's a title Douluo of Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus or a title Douluo of Clear Sky Hammer, everything is meaningless in the face of absolute soul power. Now that your martial soul flaws are gone, the path to the limit will be somewhat difficult, but I will help you overcome them. Second, obtain an offensive external soul bone like Oscar did. This is extremely difficult. Oscar has encountered this since childhood and has practiced swordsmanship to this day, so his foundation is very solid. The third is the 100,000-year spirit ring. I don't believe a 100,000-year auxiliary spirit ring wouldn't have offensive power. Even if there's no spirit ring, there should be a spirit bone. Following the path I've laid out for you, you can at least obtain one 100,000-year spirit ring, possibly two. It all depends on your luck. Yilingling recalled Li Luochen's words and resolved to undergo a monumental transformation within the yin-yang eye of ice and fire. Only then could she catch up to Li Luochen. She didn't want to be just a vase. Li Luochen, no. You're not a vase, you're a delicate flower. Li Luochen gave Yilingling a nice yin-yang pill, a medicinal elixir refined from his own blood, capable of surviving within the yin-yang eye. Li Luochen then found his retreat side and prepared to begin. On the way, he saw the blue-silver emperor. It looked quite good, almost reaching 10,000 years old. What did the blue-silver emperor taste like? Li Luochen wanted to try it too. Was it truly that fragrant aroma? Teng Hao, I'll raise your wife. He. Close retreat. Chapter 235 3 years. Li Luochen retreated directly to the yin-yang eye of ice and fire, leaving Yilingling's safety in the care of Dugubo. The old man had been tinkering with new elixirs lately, instead of breaking through to level 98, and instead engaging in these trivial activities. Li Luochen found this quite baffling. However, Dugubo's only hobby now was this, and the fundamentals of the Puyi clan had indeed inspired him. He was either tinkering with elixirs that boosted soul power or tinkering with poisons, which Li Luochen couldn't understand, as he knew little about poisons. He did have considerable knowledge of medical theory, otherwise he wouldn't have tailored training plans and medicinal bath ingredients to each student's physical condition. Li Luochen entered a long period of seclusion. Not only did he aim to break through to level 90, but he also had to condense his first soul core and lay the foundation for his second soul core, cultivating a yin-yang complementary relationship. During Li Luochun's time in seclusion, changes also occurred within the Shrek Academy community. A month after Li Luochun's retreat, Qin Ming's spirit power surged to level 80 after he obtained the flame-burning left arm bone. Flender was overjoyed and immediately took Lao Zhao and Qin Ming to the immortal volcano in the Star Dou Great Forest. Li Luochun had informed Qin Ming that there was an 80,000-year-old fire spirit sacred beast there, a perfect match for Qin Ming's spirit ring. He had thoroughly explored the immortal volcano, with the exception of the depths of the Life Lake, a forbidden zone for life. He had discovered 100,000-year-old spirit beasts scattered throughout the Star Dou Great Forest. The Star Dou Great Forest was truly a gathering place for spirit beasts, with Li Luochun discovering over a dozen. This didn't even include the 100,000-year-old spirit beasts Li Luochun and his team had slain. True to its legacy as the Silver Dragon King, the Star Dou Great Forest possessed a rich heritage. Qin Ming's acquisition of his 8th spirit ring was a remarkably smooth process. With Flender, a powerful tidal Douluo, even the fire spirit sacred beast, a formidable spirit beast, would be mortally defeated. After Qin Ming killed the fire spirit sacred beast, he began absorbing its spirit rings. Simultaneously, the fire spirit sacred beast also released a piece of its right arm bone. The older the spirit beast, the higher its bloodline, the greater the chance of a spirit bone dropping. A spirit beast like the fire spirit sacred beast, born from the elements, possesses a naturally high-level bloodline. It would be surprising if it didn't drop a spirit bone. Flanders gave it to Qin Ming, and his strength soared, reaching level 82.5. With his current strength, Qin Ming is now capable of rivaling veteran Soul Daolus. With 4 spirit bones, Qin Ming is immensely powerful. Qin Ming's 8th spirit skill, the Kang Wolf Sacred Flame, possesses divine flaming attacks. It forms intricate circles of patterns in the sky, symbolizing the Kang Wolf in flames. It then targets the opponent, launching a downward spiral of sacred fire. The flame's unique characteristic is that even a single spark remains, burning continuously until all evil is consumed. It's the nemesis of evil and dark spirit masters. The month after Li Luochun's retreat, Ning Rongrong returned to the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile sect. Ning Fengzi appointed her as young sect master and renamed the sect the 9 Treasures Glazed Tile sect. Meanwhile, Oscar also joined the 9 Treasures Glazed Tile sect, studying swordsmanship under Jian Daoluo. Ning Fengzi had a different opinion of Oscar. Although Oscar's food type categorization meant he was considered a support type, his impressive performance at the Soul Master competition was still fresh in his memory. Oscar was the core of the Shrek team and possessed immense strength. Ning Fengzi was willing to make an exception for him, as Oscar had already reached the Soul Emperor level. Jian Daoluo accepted Oscar as his swordsmanship apprentice. Oscar's immense strength and support abilities propelled him to a prosperous position within the 9 Treasures Glazed Tile sect, second only to young sect master Ning Rongrong. That same month, Mo Hongjin followed Zhu Xianshang into the Zuinio sect for training, where he also had a beloved woman whom he longed for. Like Ning Rongrong, Yu Xiangsun returned to the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus clan to cultivate. Now that the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus clan was severely weakened, they eliminated the old, overextending members, thus increasing their resources. Yu Luomian immediately poured the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus clan's resources into Yu Xiangsun's care, believing that his grandson must also possess a 100,000-year spirit ring. Yu Luomian now truly experienced the power of a 100,000-year spirit ring. With his original aptitude, he would never have been able to reach the rank of title Daoluo. If it weren't for Yu Yuanzhen's head spirit bone, which helped him break through the bottleneck, he might have been stuck at level 89. After breaking through the bottleneck, Yu Luomian could actually possess a 100,000-year spirit ring? He couldn't even imagine it. Now, with a 100,000-year spirit ring, his spirit power had reached level 95, but it wasn't the end yet. He felt his potential hadn't reached its limit, and perhaps he could still rise even higher. After all, the next level was a Super Daoluo, and each level was truly different. Yu Luomian sighed. If Yu Yuanzhen had a 100,000-year spirit ring, he would have been at least level 97. 98 wouldn't be out of the question, and 99 was certainly within his grasp. Yu Yuanzhen's talent was truly exceptional, and as a brother, he truly recognized it. It was a shame he was gone. Now that Yu Xiangsun was the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family's only hope, Yu Luomian naturally hoped to raise his grandson. He might not reach his limit in this lifetime, but his grandson would definitely succeed. That same month, the Shrek team's members all went on tour. Dai Mubei traveled alone, Zhu Huqing and Jiang Zhu traveled in a group, and Wang Yuan, Jing Ling, Niu Dun, and Yang Wu traveled in a group, each striving to reach the pinnacle of their cultivation. Meanwhile, the Haoshan sect was in an uproar. Tang Hao was dead. Had Tang Hao's child been brought back alive? Tang Xiao's broken arm had permanently stopped his cultivation. Had all three of the Haoshan sect's inherited spirit bones been lost? Did Tang San have twin spirits? The series of explosions left the Haoshan sect's elders dazed. It was the first time in their lives they had witnessed such a scene. Knowing Tang Hao's death, 7th Elder Tang Li had no intention of targeting Tang San. What was the point of bullying a dead person? The 2nd Elder pondered for a long time, contemplating the idea of returning Tang San to the Haoshan sect's roster. Tang San would then have his own disciples. Now, with the Haoshan twins, once the most promising leaders of the Haoshan sect, one dead and the other with a broken arm, the sect's elders fell into silence. The latest novel is now available on the 69th book bar. Although both had achieved title Douluo status, they had been forcibly raised using spirit bones from the Haoshan sect's treasury, and were destined never to reach super Douluo status in their lifetimes. Therefore, to revitalize the Haoshan sect, the elders and Tang Xiao decided to devote themselves to training Tang San. Tang Xiao personally taught Tang San the Chaos Cloak Hammer technique and the Clear Sky 9 absolutes, and Tang San showed immense respect for his only relative, his uncle. Tang San had quietly elevated Tang Xiao's status to the same level as Tang Hao, with Yu Xiaogang half a level above him, and Xiao Wu at the top. Tang San had been seriously injured and unconscious, his body collapsing and his spirit shattered. Fortunately, Tang Xiao gave him life-saving medicine in the Tree of Life trunk bone, bringing him back to life. Tang San's luck was truly remarkable. He survived? Not crippled? The only flaw was that his fingers hadn't recovered from the powerful effects of the trunk bone. Long's Henshin, a mere 40,000-year-old trunk bone, thinks you can counteract my darkness? You're dreaming. Tang San had been diligently cultivating the Clear Sky Hammer these days, and the blue-silver grass had also autonomously elevated to the blue-silver king level thanks to the Tree of Life trunk bone's essence. Tang San's blue-silver grass cultivation method, which previously only reached Soul King, would likely reach Soul Douluo this time. The elders of the Clear Sky sect had high hopes for Tang San, for he harbored a deep hatred for the Spirit Hall. This was the only spark the Clear Sky sect could use to overthrow the Spirit Hall, and there was no mistake. Despite Tang San's high status, the elders' training was brutal, torturing him to the point of near death. Fortunately, Tang San's tenacious character allowed him to persevere through it time and again. To be continued. Chapter 236 3 years 2. Tang San's efforts were unknown. He diligently cultivated to overthrow the Spirit Hall and Shrek Academy. Of course, the Spirit Hall wouldn't hesitate. Hulina was also diligently cultivating. Suddenly, she wanted to go to the Slaughter City for training and asked Bibi Dong for permission. Bibi Dong pondered for a long time before agreeing. With her around, Hulina would be safe. The Slaughter King couldn't afford to offend her. 5 months into Li Luochen's retreat, he successfully broke through to level 90 and condensed his spiritual soul core. Li Luochen emerged from retreat to rest and relax. Just then, Yi Lingling broke through to level 50, and Li Luochen took her directly to obtain her 5th spirit ring. Upon his return, Li Luochen continued his retreat. Suddenly, a golden elixir bead appeared in his hand, emanating dragon energy. He swallowed it and began to refine it. After swallowing the dragon elixir, golden dragon scales began to appear on Li Luochen's body, and his eyes turned golden, though now blood red. But a white mist suddenly burst forth from between Li Luochen's brows, calming him down. Then began the long process of refining the dragon pill. After a year and a half of seclusion, all members of the Shrek team, except Dai Mubei, reached the Soul King level. Dai Mubei also nearly reached the 49th level of soul power. That same year, Tang San's blue-silver grass reached level 50, and he hunted a 20,000-year-old human-faced demon spider, enhancing the blue-silver grass's toxicity and the power of his 8 spider lance. Tang San unexpectedly discovered that the 8 spider lance's devouring ability could rapidly boost his strength, so he set his sights on the corpses of soul beasts, devouring their bodies to rapidly increase his soul power. Of course, this was soon discovered, and Tang Xiao stopped him. But Tang San couldn't resist the thrill of rapid strength, so he resorted to absorbing it secretly. Meanwhile, Tang San's useless teacher, Uzia Gang, suffered multiple blows and turned dark. His spirit, Luo Sanpao, transformed into a giant dark dragon, capable of absorbing the ki and blood of humans and soul beasts to increase his soul power. Uzia had fought tooth and nail to defeat a level 19 battle spirit master. After being devoured by Luo Sanpao, his spirit power successfully broke through to level 30. This feeling overwhelmed Uzia, and he lost his composure and rationality. He had discovered his own method for advancement, so after obtaining his third spirit ring, he began devouring humans one after another. To become even stronger, he even tricked his friend, the headmaster of the Nodding City Junior Spirit Master Academy, a weapons spirit master. After devouring him, Uzia's spirit power increased by 5 levels. Uzia firmly believed he could become a powerful being and seek revenge. However, after his spirit power reached level 39, no matter how much he devoured, he could not advance. As expected, FW is FW, strength cannot be achieved by chance alone. Uzia's constant disappearances alerted the Spirit Hall, who began his search. Sensing a threat, Uzia fled to the Star Luo Empire, where the Spirit Hall was weaker and the Spirit Masters were more skilled, allowing him to break through. During Li Luchen's second year of seclusion, the teachers and seniors at Shrek Academy began to explode. The first to do so was Zhao Wuji, who broke through to the title Douluo. Fland led all the Shrek Academy Soul Douluos to help Zhao Wuji acquire his 9th soul ring. Luckily, Zhao Wuji's 9th soul ring was a 95,000-year-old mighty diamond bear. This soul beast perfectly matched Zhao Wuji's martial spirit, its compatibility no less than that of a 100,000-year-old spirit ring. Old Zhao was truly proud of himself. A title Douluo in his 50s was considered remarkably youthful. That same year, Shrek City security guard Captain Dai Xiangsing, reached level 90. He then asked Fland for leave and went out with his brother, Dai Xianun, to acquire soul rings. Knowing that Li Luchen had been in seclusion for 2.5 years, Dai Xiangsing and Dai Xianun returned to Shrek Academy. Unexpectedly, Dai Xiangsing's 9th soul ring was also scarlet, shocking the Shrek City Soul Douluo community. At the same time, Zhu Huqing reached level 60, and she chose to return to Shrek Academy with Jiangzhu to live there. With about 6 months left before their reunion, Zhu Huqing planned to spend the rest of the year at Shrek Academy. That same year, 2 significant events occurred within the Spirit Hall. First, the second honored one, Golden Crocodile Douluo, reached level 99, further enriching the Spirit Hall's legacy. The once somewhat aged Golden Crocodile Douluo, after this breakthrough, transformed into a middle-aged man. His aura and demeanor reverted to his youthful, vibrant years. Second, the Spirit Hall's high-honored one was gravely injured. Those below the title Douluo level only knew that one day the high-honored one suddenly attacked, engaging a malevolent opponent. In that battle, the angel's radiance was crushed, until high-honored one, Jin Daoliu, was struck down in the heart of Spirit City, covered in wounds and eroded by a dark, sinister aura. However, the battle had a rather anticlimactic beginning and a whimpering end. How could the Spirit Hall remain completely silent regarding the high-honored one's serious injury? Some speculated that the deceased Tang Chen had resurrected, seeking revenge against Jin Daoliu. Others said it was a new Limit Douluo, still others a Limit Douluo level evil spirit master, and so on. The truth was, Bibi Dong and Jin Daoliu discussed an attack on the Clear Sky sect. Jin Daoliu disagreed, arguing that he had previously promised that Spirit Hall members would not enter the Clear Sky sect's ancestral land until he, Jin Daoliu, defeated Tang Chen. Bibi Dong could only sneer at Jin Daoliu's rigidity. The old man had always been too upright, a stubborn ass, unyielding once he'd made up his mind. Unable to convince him, Bibi Dong attacked, and Jin Daoliu became furious. Bibi Dong, don't think you can fight me just because you've broken through to Limit Douluo. I'll show you the power of a Grand Priest. Unless you can defeat me, all of my Spirit Hall members will obey your orders, and I will do the same. Oh? What if I want to destroy the Clear Sky sect? Bibi Dong sneered. This won't do. Jin Daoliu hesitated. After all, he was a man of his word. Then, stop talking nonsense. Today, I'll beat you so hard you can't even stand, old man. The people of the Haoshan sect are bullying my Spirit Hall. I killed your son, but you should know who seriously injured him. You gave me this opportunity, so you can turn your hatred on me. 2 years ago, Tang Xiao caused a scene in the Spirit Hall. He even tried to kill Li Luochen, your grandson-in-law, the biological father of your great-grandson. And you remained unmoved? Very well. If you don't touch the Haoshan sect, I will. What does your agreement with Tang Chen have to do with me? Tang Chen is it? Even if he were alive, I could kill him right here. The latest novel is released on Liu Jishuba. Bibi Dong unleashed her 99th level aura, wielding the Rakshasa god's divine weapon, the Rakshasa divine scythe. Her peak Quasi god aura crushed the veteran demigod Jin Daoliu. Limit Douluo are also divided into 3 levels, Quasi demigod, demigod, and Quasi god. Quasi demigods are those who have just broken through to the Limit Douluo realm and haven't yet mastered the power of Limit Douluo. Even so, they can still easily defeat 3 Super Douluo at 98. Demigods represent a watershed, reaching the limit for many Limit Douluo. Jin Daoliu and Poseidon are at this level, and Jin Daoliu, a demigod, can easily defeat 2 Quasi demigods. The true pinnacle of Limit Douluo lies at Quasi god, a mere step away from godhood. At this level, their mental power has transformed into divine consciousness, the spiritual power of the divine origin realm. Quasi-gods have the potential to break through to the 100th level. In the god realm, anyone whose attributes align with those of a first-level deity will be subjected to a divine test, even by a divine king. Currently, only Tang Chen has reached the Quasi-god level. Jin Daoliu and Poseidon, with the help of the great worshipper's divine power, haven't quite reached the Quasi-god level, but borrowed power is still borrowed. Tang Chen only achieved Quasi-god status thanks to his self-created Great Sumeru hammer. Using the explosive ring to detonate his power, he broke through the Quasi-god barrier and defeated Jin Daoliu. Bibi Dong is now a true Quasi-god, her spiritual power reaching the divine Yuan realm, or divine consciousness. Her soul power has fully accumulated, and the next step is to break through the 100th level and become a god. Having completed the 7th test of the Rakshasa divine trial and truly wielding the Rakshasa divine scythe, how could Jin Daoliu be a match? Consequently, Jin Daoliu was defeated by Bibi Dong in less than an hour. This was simply because Bibi Dong was intent on defeating Jin Daoliu, not killing him, which would have been much quicker. After Jin Daoliu's defeat, Bibi Dong transferred all the worshippers from the worship hall, leaving Jin Daoliu alone. After all, the priests all agreed to Bibi Dong's proposal. Why would the Clear Sky sect dare to act so recklessly against Spirit Hall just because of a promise? The priests had long wanted to destroy the Clear Sky sect, and now Bibi Dong's proposal truly resonated with him. Jin Daoliu disagreed, and even Jin Rinxu was infuriated. Because of Li Luogen's presence, Jin Rinxu didn't value her oath in the bet. Why couldn't Spirit Hall retaliate if the Clear Sky sect came to kill Li Luogen? That didn't make sense. If they didn't honor their agreement, then neither did we. Jin Rinxu wrote directly to Jin Daoliu, telling him, if you don't destroy the Clear Sky sect, I'll never see you again, not even my great-grandson. It must be said that in this regard, Bibi Dong and Jin Rinxu truly are like mother and daughter, decisive when necessary. The lonely widower Jin Daoliu was not only sidelined, but also resented by his granddaughter. Tisk tisk tisk. Who made you so upright? You still want to force integrity on others? Serves you right. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 237, Out of the Blue Silver Forest. 2 months remained before the Shrek group reunited. At this moment, in the Blue Silver Forest of the starred out Great Forest, human titled Douluo, why do you want to destroy our Blue Silver clan? We are peaceful creatures, so why are you so violent? A giant, silver-edged blue silver grass swayed, casting a shadow resembling an elderly man. It's simple. As long as you offer a sacrifice, I'll retreat. I said so from the beginning, but unfortunately you disagree. So, I wouldn't have to waste my breath. A dark blue figure appeared in the air. Just over 2 meters tall, with a sturdy build, his black hair tied in a ponytail and cascading down his back, he held a dark pillar stained with 9 colors, gold being the most striking. This figure was Li Luogen, who had emerged from his retreat a month prior, successfully breaking through to the tidal Douluo realm and absorbing the golden dragon pill. At this point, Li Luogen's spirit power had reached the peak of level 97. With the power of the dragon pill, He could have reached level 99 or even level 100. But the Shrek god stopped him. He activated the killing god domain and transferred some of the dragon pale's power to his spirit rings and spirit bones, further enhancing the Shrek blood armor's power. Shrek's words were, "You bastard. You've already broken through level 100, how can you inherit my throne? I've given you so many benefits, why are you stabbing me like that? Quickly kill Tang Chen so I can pass the divine test to you. Hurry." Simply put, the Shrek god wanted Li Luochen to become stronger, but he didn't want him to get out of his control. If he did, his throne would be lost. This was a lost opportunity, so the Shrek god manipulated Li Luochen once again. This was very sure. Li Luochen hadn't anticipated the dragon pale's power, capable of directly advancing him to level 99 and even surpassing level 100. Now, Li Luochen was confident that, save for Bibi Dong, who wielded the divine weapon, he had no rival on the entire continent. After Li Luochen reached tidal Douluo, his spirit, the sky-supporting divine dragon pillar, underwent a transformation. It materialized and was no longer contained within his hand. Therefore, Li Luochen mostly held his spirit in his hand, though it was possible to keep it tucked away. He could shrink it and use it as a pen. He could also use the laws of space to seal it in his right hand. However, after absorbing the golden dragon pillar and gaining his 9th spirit ring, the sky-supporting divine dragon pillar's weight increased. Li Luochen estimated it to be 100 tons. Considering the sea god's golden trident weighs only 54 tons, Li Luochen's weapon alone surpasses it in weight. The elements within the sky-supporting divine dragon pillar had now merged into one, making them indistinguishable. Furthermore, the sky-supporting divine dragon pillar could no longer be considered a weapon or spirit. It fell short of becoming a divine artifact, perhaps even a semi-divine one. It was already close to becoming a divine artifact, and Li Luochen felt that once he reached level 99, he might be able to elevate the sky-supporting divine dragon pillar to divine status through his own energy and spirit. Back in the blue-silver forest, I'm the king here. Without my protection, the blue-silver forest will be devoured by those soft-bone rabbits. I can't agree to that, of course. The blue-silver king couldn't agree, he still wanted to live. Oh? How about you take a look at this? Li Luochen tossed a blue-silver king a blue-gold leaf. The blue-silver king's expression suddenly changed. This is the emperor's leaf. How could it be? The emperor has already transformed into human, how could he still have a leaf? And judging by his energy, he's only just over 10,000 years old. What have you done to the emperor? The leaf Li Luochen had given him was, of course, the blue-silver emperor's leaf. The blue-silver emperor had now reached 10,000 years old, and his intelligence was gradually recovering. Of course, Li Luochen couldn't let her live so easily. When she was first transplanted into the yin-yang eye of ice and fire, the blue-silver emperor absorbed Li Luochen's blood and implanted a spiritual imprint in her. Even if the blue-silver emperor retained her memories, she couldn't resist Li Luochen's words. Li Luochen had become her special master, and he was bound to do whatever he told her. Li Luochen didn't care whether she was willing or not. A mere blue-silver emperor wasn't worth a bother. It was the blue-silver emperor who had revealed the location of the blue-silver forest. Your emperor was once sacrificed to human sweet talk, transformed into a grass seed. That human didn't bring her to the blue-silver forest. When she resurrected, I cultivated her in a precious spot. Within a few years, she was able to recover to the 10,000-year level. Do you think I've done a great favor to your blue-silver grass lineage? So, what's wrong with you sacrificing my woman? Hurry. After the blue-silver emperor's resurrection, you will naturally rise again, or I'll destroy you today. Li Luochen's words were absolute. Against such a being, only intimidation was necessary. Was he afraid of their subtle tactics? Li Luochen's mental power had already reached the divine origin realm, transforming into divine consciousness. With just divine consciousness, they were nothing but ants. How powerful could the mental power of a mere 85,000-year-old blue-silver grass be? The blue-silver king pondered for a moment, his expression dimming, but his resolve remained firm. I agree, but you must swear on your spirit. If you don't resurrect the emperor, your spirit will be shattered and you'll die. The blue-silver king gritted his teeth. The latest novel is released on the 69th book forum. Sorry, my spirit has materialized and can't be shattered. And you still have the right to negotiate with me. Hurry, don't keep me waiting. I have a bad temper, Li Luochen said coldly, his powerful soul power erupting, and the entire blue-silver forest trembled. Damn it, the Blue-Silver King could only accept his fate. Then the sacrificial magnetic field appeared, and the huge body of the Blue-Silver King began to dissipate. The energy was directed towards a beautiful woman sitting cross-legged on the ground. She looked to be in her early 20s, with a slender figure. She was dressed in black, her face covered by a black veil, and her long blue hair cascaded down her back. She possessed a pair of strikingly beautiful large eyes, the same color as her hair, their gaze clear and unadulterated, her long eyelashes slightly curved upwards, each blink seeming to speak. At this moment, a circle of pitch-black spirit rings began to encircle Yilingling. The sacrifice spirit power flowed smoothly. And coupled with the blue-silver grass's inherent life properties, the black-clad woman absorbed it without any burden. Furthermore, a new surge of spirit power condensed within her torso, enhancing her physical fitness. This woman in black was Yilingling, whose spirit power had reached level 70. The yin-yang eye of ice and fire was the perfect place for her to cultivate. Not only her, but Zhu Douluo Yuguan also frequently cultivated there. Nurturing the newly born Kirin Tongshan chrysanthemum, within the yin-yang eye's environment, Zhu Douluo finally broke through the bottleneck that had plagued him for nearly a decade. His spirit power reached level 96, earning him the rank of Honored One. Li Luochen not only helped Yilingling this time, but also helped Zhu Huqing obtain her 6th spirit ring. Zhu Huqing had been stuck at level 60 for a year, so he could help her get her 6th spirit ring. He'd raised that little rabbit for so long, it was time to put her to good use. Chapter 238 Soul Saint Yilingling. Yilingling absorbed the soul power of the Blue-Silver King. There's a difference between the soul power gained from hunting and sacrificing soul beasts. Sacrificing a soul beast imparts its lifelong cultivation to the soul master, while the soul rings obtained from hunting don't carry the soul beast's cultivation, as it still retains its physical soul power. Therefore, sacrificing a soul beast boosts soul power significantly more than hunting. A circle of pitch-black soul rings swirled around Yilingling, and her bottleneck was broken through. Level 70, then 71. She continued to climb, reaching level 74. The sacrifice process was incredibly fast. In less than a quarter of an hour, Yilingling had absorbed all the soul rings. Yilingling stood up and released her spirit form. Within her spirit form, the nine-hearted begonia grew immensely, emanating a refreshing life energy. This immense life force spread throughout the blue-silver forest, and the cultivation of the blue-silver grass there surged. Yilingling, a kind-hearted woman, absorbed the Blue-Silver King's spirit ring and spirit bone. She then used her own martial spirit to unleash a powerful vitality, causing the blue-silver grass here to grow rapidly. Yilingling used her own spirit power to nourish the blue-silver grass. Aside from the 85,000-year-old Blue-Silver King, only one remaining, over 20,000 years old, remained, its intelligence still immature. Yilingling's support rapidly increased the Blue-Silver King's cultivation. The Blue-Silver King, harboring Yilingling's spirit ring and spirit bone, sensed her actions and was deeply moved. There were still many kind people in this world. Why would such a good girl choose such a murderer? The Blue-Silver King also expended its own spirit power to help this fellow quickly awaken his spirit, allowing it to continue protecting the Blue-Silver Forest. Of course, this came at a price. The remaining soul of the 85,000-year-old Blue-Silver King would vanish, leaving this world forever. Even if its seed still remained, its soul was annihilated. Even if the seed grew again, it would no longer be the same. Li Luochen wasn't idle either. He took out 2 life attribute treasures and burned them with flames, transforming them into a medicinal liquid. Li Luochen bit his finger, squeezed out a drop of blood, and mixed it into the liquid. Then, Li Luochen poured the liquid over the growing Blue-Silver King. In an instant, the newborn Blue-Silver King's cultivation reached 50,000 years. With this 50,000-year-old Blue-Silver King, the Blue-Silver Forest was barely safe, and its future cultivation would be much easier. Perhaps it could reach 100,000 years and become the new Blue-Silver Emperor. Of course, even if it became a Blue-Silver Emperor, it wouldn't possess the status of a Blue-Silver Emperor. That status was always with a Yin, so even if it did achieve a breakthrough, it wouldn't be a sole Emperor, but it would be far nobler than a king. Thank you, the newborn Blue-Silver King's childish voice rang out, its entire body swaying. Li Luochen simply nodded, then pulled Yilingling by the waist and left. Acquiring the 85,000-year-old Blue-Silver King's spirit ring was a great win for Yilingling. 100,000-year spirit ring wasn't out of the question. Li Luochen felt that Yi Lingling had already caught up with Ma Hongjin and Oscar in terms of cultivation. Lingling, tell me about the effects of your spirit avatar. This blue silver king should also have spirit bones, right? Tell me about that. In the air, Li Luochen held Yi Lingling in his arms like a princess, flying swiftly. Why did he hold her like this? It was mainly so that Li Luochen could fly freely. If you were to pull her along, it would easily make Yi Lingling uncomfortable. So, after careful consideration, he decided to hold her this way. Yi Lingling was enjoying Li Luochen's embrace, her ears flushed red. My seventh soul skill, the martial soul incarnation, increases my healing abilities by 300%. Healing speed is also increased by 400%. Furthermore, the healing properties have been enhanced, and the amplification power while in the martial soul incarnation state has also been strengthened. For example, my fourth soul skill's soul power amplification and my fifth soul skill's power amplification have both been tripled. Most importantly, I can now heal severed limbs without any side effects, and I can even consume soul power to replenish lost ki and blood for others. In short, my martial soul incarnation has doubled my healing abilities, truly making it impossible to die within the nine-hearted begonia's range. Li Luochen listened silently. Judging by the effects alone, Yi Lingling's healing abilities surpassed those of her grandfather, the so-called medical sage, Mr. Yi. Also, that Mr. Blue Silver King has gifted me with a torso bone. The torso bone's power is, even wildfire cannot extinguish it, but spring breeze brings new life, making my life force even stronger. And as long as I don't lose my head, I can repair even a broken heart, Yi Lingling said timidly. Very good spirit rings and spirit bones. This should allow you to obtain 100,000-year 8th spirit ring without any problems. You now have the crucial head spirit bone and torso bone, and they're both very high quality. I think you can definitely absorb them. And with me protecting you, no one can hurt you, so don't worry. The ability of your torso bone will probably only increase your vitality, because you won't be harmed. The latest novel will be released on the 6th book bar. Li Luochen's words warmed Yi Lingling's heart. Although Li Luochen and her had an ambiguous relationship, nothing had happened between them, and Yi Lingling already felt that this relationship was very good. Moreover, Li Luochen was willing to help her start from the 8th spirit ring to the 100,000-year spirit ring, so it was clear that he was very attentive to her. Yi Lingling was truly touched. Even though Li Luochen already had a family and children, she didn't mind. Someone might ask how their relationship progressed so quickly, and when it began. Their relationship began during special training. Li Luochen provided guidance to everyone, but his training of Zhu Xiuqing was more detailed. Yi Lingling's role wasn't significant, but it was there. Li Luochen quickly flew back to Shrek Academy with Yi Lingling in his arms. He still had to help Zhu Xiuqing obtain her 6th spirit ring. The girl had already been there for a year. If she didn't obtain a spirit ring, the accumulated spirit energy within her body might damage her meridians, so they had to hurry. It wasn't a big deal for the little rabbit to stay in the tank forever. Xiao Wu was also growing day by day. Although she was unconscious, she was still growing and her complexion was plump. After all, the potion she used was made from rare materials. The potion was large, but it also contained a lot of energy, and Xiao Wu's spirit power had already increased. Li Luochen acted quickly because the little rabbit was becoming immune to the drug. To maximize its effectiveness, he even used a little blood-red swan pollen. While doing this, Li Luochen was nervous, not daring to touch it at all, relying solely on his spirit power. It would be best to get rid of the rabbit sooner rather than later. It must be said that the little rabbit was quite attractive. Although she was already 17 years old when she transformed, she had already matured to perfection. Her clothes had long since become worn out by growth, and from prolonged soaking in water, they had become naked. Li Luochen felt it best to get rid of her quickly, otherwise she would easily be tempted. Returning to reality, Li Luochen and Yi Lingling soon flew back to Shrek Academy. Super Douluo's speed was truly remarkable. Chapter 239 Four Sons. Li Luochen and Yi Lingling landed at Shrek Square and headed towards Li Luochen's home, deep within Shrek Academy. Meanwhile, at Li Luochen's home, Du Yuyan was diligently caring for the children. Why diligently? Because she had to take care of 4. Some might ask, why 4? Isn't there only one Li Chengqian? Remember, before Li Luochen's retreat, he had lavishly fertilized Du Yuyan and Jin Ringsu. After 3 days of fertilization, both girls became pregnant. Dou Yan was pregnant with twins, and Jin Ringsu was pregnant with one. They gave birth on the same day, so the 3 children were born within a short time frame. Li Luochen now has 4 sons, the eldest, Li Chengqian, the second, Li Chengs, born to Dou Yan, the third, Li Chengping, born to Dou Yan, and the fourth, Li Chengru. Well, 3 boys and 1 girl, with the fourth being a girl, doted on by the family, instantly causing Li Chengqian to fall out of favor. Dou Yan and Jin Ringsu noticed something different during their births this time. Jin Ringsu's second, and this time, she was noticeably smoother than the last. Deep in thought, she transformed into a steam princess, silently cursing Li Luochen as an animal. As for Dou Yan, hers was even smoother. She gave birth to both sons in one breath, in a remarkably short time. The midwife was stunned. In all her years of delivering babies, she'd never seen such a natural birth. Li Luochen arrived home soon after, and was deeply moved to see Dou Yan caring for the children. Ever since Li Luochen had children, Dou Yan had become a stay-at-home mother, taking care of the children, cooking, and doing the laundry. As a result, her spirit power had been advancing slowly. With her talent, she should have reached level 90 by now, but now she was only at level 86. It was truly exhausting. Dou Yan, however, relished it all. She truly loved children, and she was the one who mostly took care of Liu Laner. Whenever Flender and Liu Erlong made love, it was usually Dou Yan who played with her. In the courtyard, Dou Yan was holding one in her left hand and another in her right, while the third was wrapped in her dragon tail. Dou Yan was the only one who could do this, and her dragon tail was usually used to increase Li Luochen's attack speed. As for Li Chengqian, he was already 3 years old and had developed some sense. He sat quietly, watching his mother-in-law tease his younger siblings. Tired of watching, Li Chengqian stretched and prepared to go back to sleep when he turned around and saw Li Luochen and Yi Lingling. "Hey, Dad, San Yang, you're back." Li Chengqian's sleepiness vanished, and he bounded over to Li Luochen's side. Li Luochen smiled naturally and picked him up. He saw something in his eldest son. He had a calm personality, perhaps due to his angelic bloodline, and his temperament was very friendly and stable. But Li Luochen noticed a tsundere streak in him, giving him the impression of a fool. He clearly wanted a hug, but he was pretending to be uninterested. Tisk, such a tsundere. Who does she take after? Actually, when Li Luochen emerged from his retreat, he was stunned to discover he had several more children. He'd been in retreat for only 2.5 years, a kun year. Upon emerging, he had 2 sons and a daughter, which was a bit of a shock. He hadn't wanted children in the first place, but now he felt like he was accidentally creating a whole squad. The key was that Li Luochen realized that Zhu Xiuqing, Yi Lingling, and even Hulina from the Spirit Hall might join them. Thinking of these 3 more women, Li Luochen thought he could create a platoon. Once his platoon had children, it could become a company. Wow, the Li family was born. According to the order of initiation, Dou Yan was the oldest, typically the eldest, with Jin Ringsu second as the second. As for Zhu Xiuqing and Yi Lingling, who joined later, they hadn't yet formed a relationship with Li Luochen. But Dou Yan and Jin Ringsu had already accepted their place as the 2 women. They were truly exhausted, their fields were about to be ruined, and they desperately needed sisters to take the brunt of the damage. After Zhu Xiuqing and Yi Lingling was older, so she was the 3rd mother, and Zhu Xiuqing the 4th mother. That was Li Chengqian's way of calling them that, anyway. Li Chengqian didn't understand why he had 4 mothers. He was clearly born by his biological mother, but he still had 3 other mothers. However, this quadruple maternal love made him incredibly happy. Both his biological mother and the other 3 had been incredibly kind to him. Although he gradually fell out of favor after Li Chengru's birth, he still felt the kindness of his own women. As for Jin Ringsu, where was she? She had reached level 90 a month prior, and Bibi Dong had personally taken her on a spirit ring hunt. Jin Daoliu had been defeated by Bibi Dong and was still recovering from his injuries. Jin Ringsu hadn't forgiven her stubborn grandfather, so she had to turn to her mother. The 9th spirit ring she had hunted this time belonged to a 100,000-year-old radiant unicorn, a top-tier beast with a strong radiant attribute. Jin Ringsu's prowess has been remarkable since her 7th spirit ring. She possesses a 100,000-year-old holy sky horse of light, a 100,000-year-old 2-winged light white tiger, and a 100,000-year-old unicorn of light, all top-tier light-attributed spirit beasts. With Bibi Dong leading the charge this time, Jinrixu's acquisition of her 9th spirit ring is as easy as a tiger trying to eat bean sprouts. Li Luochen still has things to do. He'll need to help Zhu Huqing obtain her 7th spirit ring, and Ning Rongrong's assistance is crucial, having already been dispatched. However, today's journey was exhausting, so he'll have to wait until tomorrow. Li Luochen plans to enjoy some family time first. The next day, Li Luochen tucked Du Guyan and Yi Lingling into bed and left. Last night, while he and Du Guyan were making love, Yi Lingling suddenly joined the fray. This gave the already shaky Du Guyan a glimmer of hope, and with her remaining strength, she pried open Yi Lingling's ivory-like legs. The latest novel is being released on the 69th Book Forum. Li Luochen was surprised to find that Yi Lingling, seemingly so delicate, actually possessed a fighting prowess even greater than Jinrixu's. Indeed, appearances are often misjudged. Li Luochen went straight to call Zhu Huqing and Ning Rongrong. Seeing Ning Rongrong again after over 2 years, she had blossomed into a truly beautiful woman. Her brows had lost a touch of innocence and gained a touch of charm. As an expert, Li Luochen could tell at a glance that Oscar had succeeded, completely conquering the young princess of the 7 Treasures glazed tile sect currently. There were only a few of them at Shrek Academy. Oscar had already broken through to Soul Saint, reaching level 72, while Ning Rongrong's soul power reached level 66. Jiang Zhu's soul power had reached level 61, but Zhu Huqing's soul power remained at level 60 due to her lack of a spirit ring. The reason for calling Ning Rongrong this time was to use her head soul bone skill, the illusion. Li Luochen's own mental power was not good at creating illusions, so he needed a medium, and this medium was the illusion created by Ning Rongrong's soul bone skill, so that the little rabbit could sacrifice with peace of mind. Li Luochen directly brought Ning Rongrong and Zhu Huqing to a secret place in Shrek Academy. This was where Li Luochen and other titled Douluo masters practiced, and it was safe enough. For greater safety, Li Luochen asked Flanders to come and protect him. At this time, the naked little rabbit was still soaking in the tank, looking like she would not wake up. She didn't know that she was about to die. Chapter 240 Level 233 Xiao Wu Sacrifice. Li Luochen brought the 2 women to this secret place. Zhu Huqing wore a cold expression, while Ning Rongrong blinked her eyes, observing everything until she spotted Xiao Wu. Oh? Isn't that Xiao Wu? Why are you still naked? Director Li, are you thinking about her? But don't you already have 4 women? Why are you still thinking about Xiao Wu? Aren't you afraid of a harem in turmoil? Ning Rongrong smiled slyly, gloating. Li Luochen's face was furious. While Xiao Wu had grown up quite well and did have some primitive desires, you couldn't express them openly. Li Luochen immediately knocked Ning Rongrong on the head, causing the little witch to burst into tears. What are you thinking about? This is a transformed soul beast, 100,000-year-old soft-bone rabbit. I called you here so you could cast an illusion on her. I'll use my mental power to make her fall and sacrifice her to Huqing. Do you understand? Ning Rongrong touched her head, where there was a bump, clearly from a recent beating. She looked at Li Luochen with resentment, muttering to herself that he must have hid a sore spot. But hasn't Xiao Wu met several titled Douluos? Why wasn't she discovered back then? Zhu Huqing suddenly asked. She had a deep impression of the time when Shrek Academy had titled Douluos and soul Douluos, who could easily see through transformed soul beasts. Well, she brought the herb, the breath-resting grass, which can conceal the aura of soul beasts. My spiritual power is strong enough to penetrate illusions, and I could tell at a glance that she wasn't human, Li Luochen said bluntly. He had already made up his excuse. He wouldn't admit he knew Xiao Wu was a transformed soul beast. Zhu Huqing and Ning Rongrong didn't say anything. They hadn't expected the cheerful Xiao Wu they'd once attended school with to be a soul beast. Humans and soul beasts are inherently opposed, so at most they felt pity for the little rabbit's bad luck. Alright, let's begin. Rongrong, release the illusion. Remember, make sure the one she's most captivated by is Tang Sen. Li Luochen immediately instructed Ning Rongrong to begin the illusion, and set a fixed character, Tang Sen, as the subject of the illusion. A radiance erupted from Ning Rongrong's head, shooting towards Xiao Wu's spiritual sea. As soon as she entered, Ning Rongrong felt a strain. She had already reached a high-level Soul Emperor realm, possessed a head soul bone, and possessed a Soul Douluo level spiritual power, yet she felt a strain. This further confirmed that Xiao Wu was a transformed soul beast, otherwise, her spiritual power couldn't be so strong. Most importantly, Within Xiao Wu's spiritual sea lay a power similar to her own, though it was sealed. Li Luochen placed a hand on Ning Rongrong's shoulder and channeled his spiritual sense into the illusion she had created. Ning Rongrong felt a sudden sense of relief, and her consciousness suddenly entered a strange dimension. In the illusion, Xiao Wu, dressed in pink, was skipping and plucking flowers. Not far away, Tang San sat cross-legged, cultivating. Two figures appeared in the scene, but neither Tang San nor Xiao Wu noticed them. A closer look revealed that the figures were ethereal and completely out of place in this world. "What is this?" "Huh? Brother Chen," called Oscar. "Where's this?" Ning Rongrong asked. "This is the fantasy world Xiao Wu is immersed in. They can't see us. The illusion is already constructed. Now it's time to watch the show," Li Luochen whispered. In the fantasy world, Xiao Wu wove flowers and vines into a wreath and placed it on Tang San's head. Tang San opened his eyes and looked at Xiao Wu tenderly. "Brother, this looks great on me." "Okay, brother, comb my hair." Xiao Wu untied her scorpion braid and turned her back to Tang San, who held out a wooden comb. A man and a woman combed their hair in this area. The scenery was truly beautiful, a perfect place for seclusion. However, the good times didn't last long. Suddenly, the sky changed. The clear sky turned pitch black, and then dozens of figures surrounded the area. Tang San and Xiao Wu stood up in an instant, maintaining their fighting stance. The arrivals were none other than the title Douluo and Soul Douluo of the Spirit Hall, led by Pope Bibidong. Why Bibidong? After all, Bibidong was Xiao Wu's mother's murderer. While Ning Rongrong was the one who initiated the illusion, it was Li Luochen who fabricated the story. Li Luochen simply didn't know how to use the illusion, requiring a medium. But that didn't mean his spiritual sense couldn't alter a fixed illusion. So, Li Luochen had a brilliant plot planned for Xiao Wu. At that moment, Tang San's spirit rings in the illusion were released, 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 4 black. Blue silver grass blossomed, but their aura was far weaker than those of the spirit halls. Bibidong released her own spirit ring, the soul-devouring spider emperors. At the 6th ring, Xiao Wu sensed her mother's presence. "That's my mother's spirit ring. Damn you spirit hall, haha, I didn't expect someone slipped through the net back then. You must be the final culprit," Bibidong sneered. Then, with a wave of her hand, the heads of the Titan giant ape and the azure bull python suddenly appeared out of thin air. "This is Daming and Erming. You actually killed them all. Damn it, HMPH. I'm still short of 100,000-year spirit ring. You can reunite with them." Bibidong's soul-devouring spider emperor's 8 spirit rings emerged, their powerful aura impacting the area. At this moment, Tang San stepped forward. The latest novels are released on the 69th Book Forum. If you want to hear Xiao Wu, step over my body, then Tang San stepped forward. Tang San released a blue-silver grass, Tang San unleashed his spirit abilities, and Tang San fell. Ning Rongrong burst into laughter at the sight. It was a nice statement, but she hadn't expected him to be so vulnerable. "Brother," Xiao Wu's eyes were red, and the corners of her mouth were bleeding from biting. Seeing Tang San about to be slain by Bibidong, she was overcome with emotion, and the entire illusion began to waver. Li Luochen sensed Xiao Wu was about to regain consciousness from the shock, so he returned with Ning Rongrong's consciousness. Before leaving, he sent a message of his consciousness into Xiao Wu's illusory state. In reality, Xiao Wu, now immersed in a large medicine jar, suddenly stood up, her eyes still closed. Her body had awakened, but her mind remained trapped in the illusion. Zhu Huqing, bewildered, then looked at Li Luochen and Ning Rongrong, who had released the illusion. Seeing them return to normal, she breathed a sigh of relief. Huqing, move forward a little, closer to Xiao Wu. This will make it easier for her to sacrifice herself to you. Hearing Li Luochen's words, Zhu Huqing headed directly towards Xiao Wu. She trusted Li Luochen the most. More than herself. Li Luochen then concentrated a beam of light between his brows and shot it towards Xiao Wu's head. Xiao Wu's eyes opened, but her gaze was hazy. She looked at Zhu Huqing, mumbling something. "Brother, don't leave me. We'll be together forever." Xiao Wu finished speaking, and a powerful magnetic field emanated from her body. This was the sacrificial field of 100,000-year soul beast. Li Luochen had previously left a trace of his divine consciousness in Xiao Wu's sea of consciousness, enough to cloud her senses. She mistook Zhu Huqing for Tang San. He directly performed the sacrifice on Zhu Huqing. Once 100,000-year soul beast began its sacrifice, it was irreversible. Even if Xiao Wu regained consciousness, she would die in resentment. This was the suppression of soul beasts on Douluo Continent, an unparalleled suppression. Could a soul beast possibly rise above this? Absolutely impossible. Chapter 241 Zhu Zhuking's Leap Forward. Within the sacrificial field, Zhu Zhuking felt the fluctuations of her own soul power. She immediately began practicing the technique, the Zhoutuan Wuji Guang, originally created by Li Luochen and perfected by Du Gubo. The forgotten technique reappears. This technique, passed down by Li Luochen to Zhu Zhuking and Yi Lingling, helped them rapidly increase their soul power. They were practicing the complete version. Furthermore, Li Luochen trusted the two women not to reveal it, and he wasn't afraid of it. Zhu Zhuking sat cross-legged, absorbing the energy Xiao Wu brought her. Xiao Wu's sacrifice to Tang San was the most drastic, a direct offering of her own soul. She gave herself completely to Tang San. Of course, that was only Xiao Wu's perception. In reality, it was all Zhu Zhuking's doing. The sacrifice was actually very quick. Xiao Wu sacrificed herself in the most drastic way, sacrificing her own soul, giving away 100,000 years of accumulated experience to the victim. Before long, Xiao Wu's sacrifice was nearing its end. Her figure had faded into indistinctness. She looked at Tang San tenderly, but she didn't see him. Instead, she saw Zhu Zhuking. Zhu Zhuking sat cross-legged, absorbing her spirit ring. Xiao Wu felt as if the sky had fallen. Xiao Wu was willing to sacrifice only to Tang San. Others would rather self-destruct than do so. Zhu Zhuking. How could it be you? Why you? Xiao Wu glared at Zhu Zhuking with resentment. She was powerless to resist. The sacrifice was irreversible. She could only curse Zhu Zhuking or cause trouble when she absorbed the spirit ring. Li Luochen certainly wouldn't let Xiao Wu's soul remain in the world. Neither spirit rings nor spirit bones needed a rebellious soul. So, Li Luochen unleashed his head spirit bone skill, demon-breaking divine light, to annihilate Xiao Wu's remaining soul. I curse. Xiao Wu vanished completely before she could even finish her words. Of course, she wasn't completely gone. There must still be a little bit of soul left in her spirit rings and spirit bones, but that little bit wouldn't be of much use. Meanwhile, Zhu Zhuking diligently absorbed the spirit rings and spirit bones Xiao Wu had gifted her. 6 spirit rings appeared on Zhu Zhuking's body: yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, black, and red. The 6th, 100,000-year spirit ring, spun continuously, having been fully absorbed by Zhu Zhuking. She was now comprehending her own spirit skills and spirit bone abilities. Zhu Zhuking's aura had reached level 69, a remarkable leap of 9 levels. In the original novel, when Xiao Wu was sacrificed to Tang San, he reached level 66. Zhu Zhuking, however, remained at level 60 for a year, but now, all that accumulated spirit power erupted. It's believed that before long, Zhu Zhuking will break through to level 70, reaching the Soul Sage rank and entering the realm of the most powerful spirit masters. With 2 months remaining until the gathering, with Zhu Zhuking's dedication, combined with her cultivation techniques and the use of immortal herbs, reaching a level in 2 months shouldn't be a problem. Half a minute later, Zhu Zhuking stood up, feeling the change in her strength. Her mental power and physical fitness had increased significantly, and her physique had now fully reached the level of a soul Douluo. It seemed that absorbing an 80,000-year or 90,000-year soul ring with her 7th soul ring should be a problem. Zhuking, tell me about the soul skills and soul bone skills this little rabbit has given you, Li Luochen asked, although he could probably guess which soul skills they were. Well, the 6th soul skill has 2 soul skills. One is Void, which grants immunity to all non-energy physical attacks and weakens any energy attack by 50%. The second is the explosive 8-segment stab. Each of the 8 stabs has a stun effect, making it almost impossible to dodge once stabbed. Each stab creates a violent concussion, scattering the opponent's concentrated soul power. At the same time, 70% of the 8-segment stab's attack power is continuously accumulated in the final stab. The first 7 stabs simply try to break the opponent's defense as much as possible. Moreover, the 8-segment stab can also be used in void state, greatly increasing its power. The soul bone skills are Teleport and Invincible Golden Body. Teleport is an instantaneous transfer within 5 meters, with no restrictions as long as the soul power is sufficient. Invincible Golden Body provides absolute defense for 3 seconds below the divine level, doubling the strength, increasing by 1 second for every 10 levels. The invincibility duration is the same as the strength increase. But I think you should be able to break the invincible golden body easily. Zhu Huqing revealed all the spirit skills Xiao Wu had given her. She had nothing to hide from Li Luchen. Most of her strength had been bestowed upon her by him, so there was no need to conceal it. Li Luchen nodded in satisfaction. The backbone he had trained was the best. He provided theory, practice, and spirit beasts. A good Douluo mentor. Well, compared to that certain master named Yu, I wondered what kind of nerve he had to accept such a statement. Zhuking, you should focus on honing your spirit skills during this time and strive to reach level 70 within 2 months. Then I'll take you to the Star Dou Great Forest to hunt spirits. That way, I can rest assured that you'll be able to train there. In about 5 years, you should be able to achieve a title Douluo breakthrough there. The latest novel will be released on the 69th book forum. Li Luchen explained his subsequent preparations. As for the training location, it was Sea God Island. The vast sea universe cover had long been in Jin Rinxu's possession, having passed it on to Du Yuyan. Li Luchen had just emerged from retreat when he saw Du Yuyan playing with it. Li Luchen had Du Yuyan apply the vast sea universe cover to her forehead, and she was immediately recognized. Given Du Yuyan's current qualifications, it would be a lie to deny it. That day, in the God Realm, at the Sea God Temple, he thought, oh, so boring. I didn't expect becoming a god to be so boring. I miss the days of riding Xiaobei across the sea. Those glorious years are my lost youth. While lamenting his passing youth, the sea god Poseidon suddenly felt his sea god heart on Douluo Continent stirred. He directed his divine consciousness upon the sea god heart, observed it, and was instantly overjoyed. This little girl has quite a talent. Such a pure dragon martial spirit, and it also has water attributes. It's very suitable for my position. I can finally leave this boring divine realm. Give her the brand first, otherwise it will be snatched away by other gods. Poseidon directly used the heart of the sea god to attach his divine brand to Du Yuyan's forehead, but it quickly disappeared. To fully obtain the trident brand, one must travel to Poseidon Island and pass the divine test. This is the rule of divine inheritance. What Poseidon is doing now is to inform the other gods that this girl is my successor, and they should all restrain themselves. Oh, that kid next to you, girl, could he be the Shrek guy's descendant? He's got such a strong Shrek aura about him, pure murderous intent. This guy's even more talented than this girl, but he probably wouldn't be interested in my godhood. They look like a couple, so sweet. Always in pairs. Wait, it seems Shrek god has been hanging out with Rakshasa god a lot lately. Could that be the case? Poseidon is a well-known street urchin in the divine realm. He's bored, and he's also a social butterfly with a good sense of humor and strength, making him popular with the main gods. While he was strolling around these past few days, he'd often seen the old nerdy Shrek god heading towards the Rakshasa temple, often staying there for the better part of a day. Could it be that Poseidon, the god of the sea, had spotted something? Chapter 242, Li Luchen awakens martial spirit. After helping Zhu Huqing with her spirit ring, the ever-busy Master Li thought he'd take a break and enjoy some quality time with his family. Instead, Flanders approached him and told him that Li Luchen was 6 years old and had reached the age to awaken her martial spirit, and he wanted him to preside over the awakening ceremony. Well then, Master Li, who had just begun to rest, got busy again. Shrek Academy, the martial spirit awakening room. 6-year-old Li Luchen had arrived, accompanied by her parents, Flanders and Liu Erlong. Zhao Wuji, Lu Kibin, Li Yusong, Shaozhen, Qinming, Mo Yu, Li Luchen, Du Yuyan, and others, all of whom had watched Li Luchen grow up. Li Luchen was already overwhelmed with excitement. Her uncles, aunts, and siblings were all incredibly powerful spirit masters. As the daughter of a titled Douluo and a soul Douluo, she must be incredibly talented, and she had long aspired to reach the pinnacle of spirit mastery. Li Luchen then stepped out, clutching the 6 stones needed to awaken her martial spirit. Laner, are you ready? I'm ready, Brother Luchen. Li Luchen inherited her mother Liu Erlong's outspoken personality, but unlike her fiery temper, she was very delicate. Begin. Li Luchen threw the 6 stones in his hand, and a hexagram appeared beneath her feet. Li Luchen felt the changes within herself, feeling something being drawn out from within. Li Luchen's soul power directly pulled Li Luchen up. Generally speaking, Martial soul awakening is more common among the Spirit Hall's deacons at the level of Great Spirit Masters and Soul Venerables. For a titled Douluo like Li Yusong to awaken his martial soul is extremely rare. Most titled Douluos are extremely aloof, so awakening their martial souls is practically impossible. At this moment, a powerful aura emanated from Liu Laner, a dragon's raw echoing from her. Suddenly, green scales sprouted from her body. Liu Laner's eyes also turned golden, her pupils becoming vertical. The spirit awakening was complete, and Li Yusong withdrew his soul power, allowing Liu Laner to function normally. Liu Laner waved her arms, feeling the magical power brought to her by the spirit, her eyes filled with excitement. Liu Laner mobilized her spirit power, and the fluctuations were extremely strong. At least Li Yusong hadn't had such a strong spirit power when he awakened his spirit. The wind around Liu Laner seemed to obey her command, swirling continuously, but it didn't feel like a strong wind, but rather a blazing heat. Soon, a cyan flame suddenly appeared in the air, and it was extremely hot. Although Liu Laner was using pure wind, it was able to produce such a powerful cyan flame. Judging from her body, Liu Laner's awakened spirit was a dragon spirit, and of extremely high quality, very likely a true dragon spirit, no less powerful than the blue lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex. After all, her mother, Liu Erlong's own spirit, the Crimson Dragon, is a true dragon spirit. The only difference between it and the blue lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex is its dragon transformation, which she completed after taking the immortal herbs. Judging by the extent of Liu Laner's dragon scales, she likely achieved dragon transformation upon receiving her first dragon spirit ring. The only difference is that Liu Laner's dragon spirit possesses neither the fire attribute nor the lightning attribute of her ancestors, but rather the wind attribute inherited from her father, Flender. Laner, it appears you have a mutant spirit, a benign one, at a very high level. Let's test your innate spirit power to verify it. Li Yusong tossed a blue spirit power test bead to Liu Laner. Liu Laner grasped it and felt her spirit power drawn to it. Suddenly, the entire bead shone with the brightest colors. Full innate spirit power, the Shrek Academy teachers, Flender, and Liu Erlong were all shocked. Only Li Yusong and Du Yan remained relatively calm. After all, Liu Laner was raised on a diet of rare treasures. If she couldn't even reach full innate soul power, then all those rare treasures would be dead. Upon hearing this, Liu Laner burst into laughter. After all, her biggest admirers were brother Li Yusong and the other brothers on the Shrek team. They were all geniuses, and she herself was a genius. Liu Laner wanted to set a goal for herself, to surpass her brothers and sisters. Laner, your spirit might be new, so you can name it yourself, Li Yusong said bluntly. After all, he felt a familiarity with the cyan true dragon spirit, but had forgotten it. My spirit should be cyan. It's a flame created by friction generated by wind pressure. How about calling it the blue flame dragon? Yes, let's call it the blue flame dragon. Liu Laner pondered for a moment before naming her own spirit. Blue flame dragon? Blue flame dragon. No wonder, that's how it was. The blue flame dragon, a variant spirit, was the spirit of Xian Liner, the dean of the Soul Guidance Department at Shrek Academy, 10,000 years later in the original timeline. Xian Liner had chosen this name herself. The latest novel is being released on the 69th Book Forum. The Azure Flame Dragon is a wind-attributed martial spirit. The intense friction of extremely compressed wind creates a blue flame, which possesses powerful destructive power, manifesting as decomposition. The Azure Flame Dragon is a type of flying dragon. While its ability to decompose is actually to rip and disperse, it also appears to be descended from the Golden Dragon lineage. Xian Liner seems to have a dragon spear. I wonder if Laner has one. If so, then you can directly help Liu Laner obtain a wind-attributed dragon spirit beast. It's a nice name. Laner, don't rush to obtain spirit rings. I'll personally take you there. During this time, I'll study your martial spirit and select a suitable spirit beast. It might take some time, but I think it can wait, Li Yusong said, stroking his chin. Yes, I'll do whatever my brother says. Liu Laner immediately touched her martial spirit and skipped towards her parents, showing off her talent and hoping for praise. After awakening Liu Laner's martial spirit, everyone left. Li Yusong returned to his room, took out a pen and paper, and began searching for a soul beast. His top choices were wind-attributed dragons, such as the Wind Demon Dragon, the Wind Azure Dragon, the Whirlwind Flying Dragon, and the Wind Swallowing Earth Dragon. Given Liu Laner's current physical condition, Absorbing a 1,000-year spirit ring would be no problem. Although Liu Laner couldn't consume 10,000-year whale glue directly as a child, she could mix a little bit of it into her food. Furthermore, the medicinal baths Liu Laner used were all made from the rare treasures of the yin-yang eyes of ice and fire, personally prepared by Du Guyan. As far as Li Luochen knew, no one could match Liu Laner in foundation building. Following this process, Liu Laner's first spirit ring might be able to absorb 1,000 years, the second ring could reach around 5,000 years, the third ring 9,000 years, and the fourth ring starting at 10,000 years. Unfortunately, there are too few celestial treasures that increase spiritual power. The spiritual power treasure of the yin-yang eyes of ice and fire has yet to develop. The growth cycle of spiritual power treasures is indeed too slow. However, Liu Laner's first 3 spirit rings taking 1,000 years is already absurd. Considering this, perhaps absorbing the 7th spirit ring in 100,000 years is also possible. By then, she'll be a titled Douluo in her 20s. Even gods might be able to achieve Liu Laner's talent. Li Luochen felt that the continent was becoming more and more interesting. Chapter 243. 2 months later. 2 months later, in the Star Dou Great Forest, the familiar Star Dou Great Forest. This time, 4 people were heading there: Li Luochen, Flanders, Zhu Huking, and Liu Laner. After a month of hard work, Li Luochen successfully developed a cultivation template for Liu Laner. Of course, it was just a template. The specifics of how she would practice were up to her. Cultivation was always about personal development. Li Luochen's typical cultivation path was supposed to focus on strength, but Li Luochen, despite being only 23 years old and a 97th level Super Douluo, refused to listen and insisted on pursuing attribute cultivation. So, the cultivation path was just a blueprint. The specifics of how it would be implemented depended on the individual. However, the cultivation template Li Luochen gave Liu Laner wasn't the same as the one Yu Zhigang had given Tang Sen. It was purely for personal improvement. He would only seek the best spirit rings, never compromise. Only with Li Luochen's current strength could he have such confidence. He was now completely unafraid of the king of the Star Dou Great Forest. Even if Di Tian stood before him, he wouldn't be afraid. Li Luochen was confident that he could defeat Di Tian with his sheer strength. Alright, we've arrived at the mixed zone of the Star Dou Great Forest. This is close to the core area, a gathering place for high-level 10,000-year soul beasts. Even 100,000-year soul beasts might inhabit this area. You two must not stray more than 3 steps from the Dean and me, Li Luochen said seriously. After all, he was bringing a group here, and their safety was paramount. Although Flanders had also arrived, having reached level 94 after 3 years of diligent cultivation, he was an extremely powerful helper, a reliable asset for Li Luochen. As for Douluo, the old man was obsessed with poison. From what he said, he wanted to refine a potent poison, combined with a blood swan kiss. Once he reached level 98, he would combine the poison and the blood swan kiss to achieve a breakthrough to limit Douluo. Douluo intended to strengthen his poison attribute mixed core. He felt his soul core still had potential for improvement, so he needed to research it carefully. After searching for a long time, Li Luochen's mental power locked onto a 1,150-year-old Wind Azure Dragon. Li Luochen's first soul ring had also been a Wind Azure Dragon. This Wind Azure Dragon had cultivated for millennia, its wings fully grown, allowing it to fly, and its speed was impressive. Li Luochen's first soul skill was amplification, presumably due to the fact that Feng Azure Dragon's spirit rings were mostly amplified. Li Luochen felt that Feng Azure Dragon was a perfect match for Liu Laner. Furthermore, Feng Azure Dragon possessed a small amount of true dragon blood, not much, but enough. After all, among wind-attributed dragon-type soul beasts, true dragon blood is rare. The most common dragon-type soul beasts are fire, water, dark, and light dragons. Perhaps because the Wind Dragon King, one of the 9 Dragon Kings, was too low-key, or perhaps because his dragon nature wasn't particularly prominent, wind-attributed dragon-type soul beasts possess a less potent bloodline. Li Luochen set his sights on this Wind Azure Dragon, teleported to its side, and delivered a punch with 1,000th of its intended power, knocking it unconscious. He feared the blow would render Feng Azure Dragon into a scumbag. Li Luochen returned carrying a massive Wind Azure Dragon and tossed it directly in front of Liu Laner, allowing her to absorb it. Liu Laner's eyes sparkled. She could finally begin her formal training, so excited. Even after Li Laner awakened her martial spirit, Li Luochen had found time to pass on the complete version of the Zhoutian Wu Ji Gong to her, accelerating her cultivation. When Li Luochen reached the Soul Douluo level, he had already passed on his skills to trusted individuals: Flanders, Li Erlong, Zhao Wuji, Qin Ming, Mo Yu, Xiao Xin, Lu Qiban, Oscar, Ma Hongjin, and others. These were Li Luochen's most trusted people. Now, the little girl could also rapidly increase her spirit power. As for the other team members, such as Yu Xiangxin and Yang Wu, Li Luochen planned to pass on the Zhuangtian Gong to them. The analysis of the Zhuangtian Gong was almost complete, and Li Luochen could barely recognize the ancient characters written by Tang San. Even if he didn't recognize them, he could guess the meaning by the preceding and following sentences. The only problem was that Tang San's handwriting was awful, like dog scrawl. Li Luochen was speechless. Tang San's hands could craft sophisticated hidden weapons, so how could he not even write properly? Furthermore, after studying the Zhuanshan Guang, Li Luochen was deeply puzzled. The Zhuanshan Guang was clearly a health-preserving technique, and Tang San had even claimed it was the highest level of Taoist internal cultivation. But the Tang sect wasn't a Taoist sect. Moreover, the Tang sect's members were all assassins, a veritable assassin organization. How could they practice health-preserving techniques? Shouldn't they be practicing concealment techniques or poison-based techniques? That was the true essence of assassination. Li Luochen was baffled. However, the Zhuanshan Guang was indeed much faster than meditation, a major discovery. Even with some omissions, the practice was still fast, but it wouldn't have the same endless vitality. Li Luochen planned to dispose of the Zhuanshan treasure records appropriately, modifying the Zhuanshan Guang and releasing it from the spirit hall to the mainland, allowing everyone to practice it. He wondered if the sect slave Tang San would be furious when he found out. In reality, Li Laner had already begun absorbing spirit rings, a purple ring swirling around her. Flander's heart nearly leaped. He hadn't expected Li Luochen to let Laner absorb a Millennium Spirit Ring. Flander was so enraged he nearly hit Li Luochen. He had no idea what this guy was thinking. The key was that Li Laner had agreed, leaving Flander helpless. Liu Erlong was even more furious, not letting Flander have sex for a week. This was truly devastating for him. Li Luochen's mental power constantly enveloped Li Laner, and since he had her physical condition under his control, absorbing it wasn't difficult for her. It was just that the Millennium Spirit Ring was incredibly old, and the amount of soul power it possessed was immense. The latest novel is now available on the 69th book bar. Li Laner needs to carefully manage her spirit rings and harness their power. A 1,000-year-old first spirit ring is absolutely unfathomable. After Li Laner's discovery, Li Luochen felt certain he would be summoned to the Pope's palace for another round of tea. Bibi Dong, while a powerful figure, was also a scholar with a voracious thirst for knowledge, so being summoned for tea was a given. Seeing that Li Laner was fine, Li Luochen addressed Flander. "Dean, Laner is fine now. You should be able to take care of her on your own. I'm taking Zhuking out to hunt souls. Once Laner has absorbed the spirits, you can bring her back to the academy, okay? Stay safe, both of you." Flander, seeing his daughter in no danger, relaxed. Li Luochen put his arm around Zhu Zhuking's waist and left. This time, he planned to help Zhu Zhuking find a netherworld spirit cat, at least 80,000 years old and under 100,000 years old. Li Luochen personally believed that a divinely bestowed spirit ring was the most suitable for a beast soul master to obtain their 7th spirit ring, but it wasn't easy to obtain. The best method is to absorb a spirit beast with the same martial spirit as one's own, which will maximize the power of one's spirit's true form. However, most beast soul masters will never encounter a spirit beast with the same martial spirit as their own. Li Luochen wasn't sure if there were any aged nether spirit cats in the Star Dou Great Forest, so he was just trying his luck. Alternatives were spirit beasts like Ghost Leopard, Shadow Tiger, and Dark Leopard. The nether spirit cat was purely a matter of luck. At that moment, a massive nether spirit cat emerged from a cave somewhere in the Star Dou Great Forest and headed off. It was heading in the direction of Li Luochen. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 244, Netherworld Cat. Li Luochen led Zhu Zhuking through the mixed zone of the Star Dou Great Forest, Why didn't they fly? Because flying makes too much noise, and Li Luochun's aura couldn't be concealed. Such a powerful aura would have scared off the soul beasts long ago, so how could he possibly hunt souls? Only 100,000-year soul beast wouldn't be afraid, but 100,000-year soul beast wouldn't fight you, let alone a 10,000-year soul beast. So Li Luochun led Zhu Zhuking through the forest. The air in the Star Dou Great Forest was truly refreshing. Unless there were soul beast nests or soul beast puppies nearby, the place felt like a paradise. 3 years later, Zhu Zhuking had become even more beautiful, her already unassuming figure becoming even more so, and her youthful appearance gradually maturing. Now 17 years old, Zhu Zhuking's soul power had reached level 70, a remarkable talent for a soul master of her age. Furthermore, Zhu Zhuking now possessed both beauty and strength, making it hard not to be attracted to her, and to think she was no longer her older sister. Something's coming. Zhuking, be alert. Li Luochun's radiating spiritual energy detected something moving at breakneck speed, its aura extremely subtle. Li Luochun instantly guessed that a spirit ring suitable for Zhu Zhuking had arrived. After all, the combination of speed and subtle aura clearly indicated the arrival of a dark speed attribute. Furthermore, based on Li Luochun's perception, this spirit beast was over 70,000 years old and had returned to life. Elsewhere, a pitch-black cat, with yellow eyes and a dark aura, moved swiftly through the forest. It seemed to have sensed something approachable, perhaps a heavenly treasure suited to its needs, so it charged headfirst into it. This nether spirit cat was the oldest in the Star Dou Great Forest. Standing 8 meters long and 2 meters tall, it might seem small compared to other large spirit beasts, but its combat power should not be underestimated. At 86,000 years old, this nether spirit cat was a true dominant spirit beast, unrivaled except for those of rare bloodlines and those of 100,000 years old. Its speed and agility made it difficult to catch up. Furthermore, this nether spirit cat was different from ordinary nether spirit cats. Its claws were longer and sharper, and its dark aura was even more intense. This nether spirit cat was incredibly intelligent. As a hunter, it knew how to conceal its weaknesses. It possessed a hidden weapon, having once inflicted a tidal Douluo's death. Because of this, it had consumed the tidal Douluo's body, significantly increasing its cultivation. It was confident it could reach the level of a 90,000-year soul beast within a few decades, and a 100,000-year soul beast within 1,000 years. It would become the true king of the spirit cat clan. Today, during its lunch break, it sensed a highly sensitive aura. It felt that consuming that aura would significantly increase its cultivation. It would even surpass the 100,000-year soul beast level in a fraction of the time. In reality, Li Luochun protected Zhu Zhuking, sensing the approaching soul beast. In just 3 breaths, a massive black cat appeared before them. A netherworld spirit cat, Zhu Zhuking exclaimed. She was all too familiar with this kind of soul beast, it was the same type as her martial soul. Yes, it's about 85,000 years old. Zhuking, you're very lucky. Li Luochun and Zhu Zhuking whispered. The netherworld spirit cat stared at Zhu Zhuking, its eyes gleaming with greed. It sensed the object must be in the human woman's possession, or perhaps eaten by her. Simply eating her would be enough. However, the netherworld spirit cat, looking at the human man beside it, sensed a vague sense of danger. As a hunter, it was confident in its senses. While the human man's aura might seem weak at first glance, the menacing presence remained. Therefore, the netherworld spirit cat hesitated to attack. It valued its own life more than any chance, so it circumvented the attack without launching a full-scale attack. Li Luochun, however, could no longer wait and unleashed his spirit rings. Red, 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 orange gold, red, 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 gold. 9 spirit rings emerged, 4 red, 1 orange gold, 3 red, and 1 gold. What a bizarre spirit ring configuration. The 9th, a pure gold spirit ring, was bestowed by the golden dragon pill. It was a truly divine level spirit ring, granting it 4 soul skills. The dragon pill further enhanced the age of Li Luochun's dragon-type spirit rings, raising the first 4 to 100,000 years. The 5th, already 100,000 years old, was elevated to a ferocious beast spirit ring. This was Li Luochun's greatest achievement since emerging from seclusion. With all the top-tier spirit rings, who on the continent, besides the gods, could rival him? Only Bibi Dong, who was wielding a divine weapon, was a sly trick, and the great mother dragon of the Star Dou Great Forest. With Li Yucheng's current strength, he could defeat the old black dragon of the Star Dou Great Forest or the great whale of the ocean. Li Yucheng's ninth golden spirit ring began to shimmer, and a golden barrier suddenly extended from him. Ninth soul skill, Golden Dragon Domain. Golden Dragon Domain, a domain-type soul skill. Li Yucheng unleashed a golden domain, suppressing the opponent's state. If the opponent was a beast, the suppression was even more powerful. The nether cat instantly felt its strength suppressed to 10%. It was extremely anxious, but the human before it had switched to gun. It was doomed for the day. It cursed inwardly, "This damn cunning human, why is he hiding his aura for no reason? Playing the pig to eat the tiger? Is this fun? Bullying a child of tens of thousands of years old? Don't bully me like that." Li Yucheng had no idea the nether cat was so full of internal drama, and he immediately suppressed it with his soul power, crushing all its bones and severely wounding it. The latest novel is released on the 69th book bar. Zhu King, finish it off. Upon hearing Li Yucheng's words, Zhu King's martial spirit possessed her, extending her cat claws and dispatching the netherworld cat. Before its death, the netherworld cat noticed a strong aura about the human woman, likely due to having ingested some treasure. Furthermore, she was also a netherworld cat. As a seasoned hunter, the netherworld cat's day was a disaster. Before its death, the netherworld cat could think of nothing else. Without a mate or offspring, it lived a life of solitude. Hunters didn't need a companion. Having determined its path as a hunter, the netherworld cat was slain by Zhu King's headshot, a pitch-black spirit ring emerging from it. After finishing the task, Zhu King glanced at Li Yucheng, a faint smile on her face, and then sat down to absorb the spirit ring. Meanwhile, Li Yucheng, with his skillful eye, searched for a spirit bone. He felt his luck was good, a spirit ring had come to him unbidden. After all, it was a buy one get one free deal. How about a spirit bone? Since Zhu King was killed by a headshot, her skull was unremarkable, so there was no skull, and no spirit bones in her limbs. It wasn't until Li Yucheng grasped the torso of the nether spirit cat that he detected a fluctuation in spirit power and burst into laughter. As expected, handsome men always have good luck, hehe. Li Yucheng directly cut open the nether spirit cat's body and extracted a piece of black torso bone. It was a perfectly intact bone, approximately 86,000 years old. Combined with Zhu King's spirit ring, its power was likely no less than a 100,000-year-old spirit ring. Li Yucheng grabbed the spirit bone and sat down next to Zhu King, waiting for her to finish absorbing the spirit ring. Chapter 245 Soul Saint Zhu King, Gathering. Zhu King absorbed the nether spirit cat's spirit rings, but unfortunately, she lacked a head spirit bone, making it difficult to resist the spirit shock. Fortunately, Zhu King possessed Xiao Wu's 100,000-year spirit ring and spirit bone, significantly increasing her physical fitness and mental strength. Otherwise, absorbing the seventh spirit ring, which had lasted for over 80,000 years, would have been a real challenge. Li Yucheng was considering how to obtain a head spirit bone for Zhu King. Zhu King already had 3 spirit bones, and with another spirit cat's torso bone, she had 4. She had the 48,000-year fast-forward chasing wind right leg bone, the 100,000-year soft bone charming rabbit left leg bone, and the external spirit bone dark shadow spear, 8 spider spear. Add to that the 86,000-year nether spirit cat torso bone, and the setup was already quite impressive. Unfortunately, head spirit bones were scarce, and those with compatible attributes were even rarer. Li Yucheng had run out of all his spirit bones. The good ones had been distributed, leaving only those that were just over 10,000 years old. This gave Li Yucheng a headache. Should he ask his mother-in-law for help? She'd probably have a better spirit bone. But wait, there was Zuir too. Zuir was the eldest daughter of the spirit hall. Getting a dark attributed head spirit bone shouldn't be a problem. Going back and asking Zuir for help might help. 3 days passed, and Zhu King had absorbed the spirit ring. The energy was fine, but the nether spirit cat's soul vibrations made her extremely cautious, so it took 3 days to complete. Zhu King opened her eyes, but before she could stand, a spirit bone flew towards her, which she firmly caught. Zhu King absorbed the nether spirit cat's torso bone. Spirit rings and bones from the same spirit beast are the most compatible, and they're also the same type as your spirit. I wonder what new changes will come from it. Hurry and absorb it, and let me see. Upon hearing Li Luochun's words, Zhu Huqing said nothing more. She simply pressed the torso bone against her chest, absorbed it, and began to absorb the spirit power it brought. Absorbing spirit bones was easier than absorbing spirit rings, completing the task in just half a day. Zhu Huqing's spirit power reached level 73, with her spirit rings increasing by 2 levels and her spirit bone increasing by 1, officially entering the realm of the continent's powerful. Done absorbing? Let's go, then. We still have a few days before the gathering, so let's go back to the academy and rest up. Li Luochun sat up, dusted off his butt, and prepared to leave. Wait, Teacher Li, huh? What are you doing? Ugh, Li Luochun had just turned his head when he felt something soft on his lips, sensing the young woman's intentions and her aggression. Li Luochun, I didn't expect the little wildcat to be so aggressive. I didn't see that coming. Li Luochun used his 9th spirit skill to create a 3-meter barrier, enveloping the two of them. Then, the story of the ground as a bed and the sky as a blanket began. Half a day later, Princess Li Luochun, Zhu Huqing in his arms, left the Star Dou Great Forest. Zhu Huqing rested her head in Li Luochun's arms, one hand caressing her lower abdomen, which felt a sharp pain and a slight swelling. Zhu Huqing felt the most pain was for Daxuzi, who had been ravaged. Sure enough, all men were the same. They just liked women like her. But Zhu Huqing had chosen Li Luochun. She liked him even more than she did. Li Luochun's face was beaming. After emerging from confinement, he not only arranged flowers but also played with cats, giving Li Chenqian and his family 2 more wives. Li Luochun took Zhu Huqing directly back to his residence. Since Yi Lingling had recently become Li Luochun's woman, she too had moved in, helping Du Yuyan look after the children. The 2 women, seeing Zhu Huqing arrive, felt a little unsteady in their steps, but then they understood. Du Yuyan had seen through everything. She didn't care if Li Luochun took them in, she just wanted him to have her in his heart. Enjoying Li Luochun alone? That was terrifying. Du Yuyan needed allies, otherwise she and Jinringsu would be doomed sooner or later. 2 more sisters would help draw the enemy's fire. When Li Luochun's strength was exhausted, it was their turn to take charge. They were always drenched in water, unable to get out of bed. Li Luochun never once managed to escape by holding on to the wall. The closest Du Guyan came to escaping was when Li Luochun reached Soul Emperor status. Du Guyan came so close to defeating him. It wasn't until Li Luochun absorbed the Blue-Silver Emperor's right leg bone and the Golden Dragon's torso bone that everything changed. His stamina seemed endless. Didn't you see Jinringsu get knocked unconscious every time? Du Guyan, with her strongest physique, endured the greatest pressure, and could only withstand it by using dragon transformation. But every time Du Guyan used dragon transformation, Li Luochun's attacks became like a shot of chicken blood, accelerating, grabbing her dragon horns or tail and lashing out at her furiously. Was this amplification amplifying herself, or Li Luochun? Jinringsu was the same way. Li Luochun particularly enjoyed grabbing her wings and plucking her. Speaking of Jinringsu, she's been quite busy lately. This year, she not only achieved a breakthrough to title Douluo and obtained her 9th spirit ring, but then came the death of Emperor Zhu Yi. The latest novel is available for release on the Liujiu 9 book bar. Emperor Zhu Yi passed away late at night in his concubine's palace, the cause of death being sudden death from excessive indulgence. The dignified Emperor Zhu Yi's death in such a manner became the biggest laughingstock among all the kings of Yondao. Upon Emperor Zhu Yi's death, Crown Prince Zhu King ascended to the throne, and Jinringsu inherited the throne as Zhu King, taking the name Emperor King. After Emperor King ascended to power, he drastically revised the laws, targeting the nobility and aristocracy. Those nobles guilty of extravagance were dismissed by Jinringsu. This included loyalists to the Heaven Dao Empire, such as Marshal Jialong, and a series of other court officials, all of whom were secretly dealt with by Jinringsu. Jinringsu's plan to seize the empire had been in motion for a long time, and the time had finally come to fruition. Years ago, she followed Li Luochun's advice and gradually eroded the Heaven Dao Empire, starting with the countryside. Now, the Heaven Dao Empire has completely fallen into Jinringsu's hands. Jinringsu's control over the Heaven Dao Empire surpasses that of Emperor Zhu Yi, and she has absolute authority at court. As for the devil, well, he's on vacation, needing a break after so much pressure. Jinringsu arranged for him to have a Soul Douluo guard, and the devil, Zhu King, took the crown princess on a honeymoon, both wearing human skin masks. The changes in the Heaven Dao Empire had no impact on Shrek Academy. Now boasting several titled Douluo and dozens of soul Douluo, Shrek Academy boasts unprecedented strength. No one dares to provoke Shrek Academy, and Shrek Academy is currently holding a reunion ceremony. The members of the Shrek team, winners of the Continental Advanced Soul Master Competition 3 years ago, are reuniting today, a truly momentous occasion. All the teachers and students have gathered at Shrek Square for the reunion ceremony. Li Yusong has already prepared the stage, allowing the former Shrek team to stand there and hear the cheers from the academy. Shrek! 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 The cheers in the square reached a crescendo, and with them, the members of the Shrek team appeared one by one. Ma Hongjin, Oscar, Ning Rongrong, Zhu Xiuqing, Yi Lingling, Yang Wu, Niu Dun, Yu Xiangxin, Wang Yuan, Jing Ling, Zhang Zhu, and Dai Mubei appeared one after another, their presence bringing the cheers from the square to a crescendo. The Shrek team had a perfect reunion today after 3 years. Li Yusong also prepared medals and was ready to personally present medals to everyone on the Shrek team. Chapter 246 The Strength of the Shrek Team. The most prominent figures on Shrek Square were the members of the Shrek team. Li Yusong personally commissioned a red and gold medal to be awarded to each member of the Shrek team. After 3 years of training, the Shrek team had made significant progress. With the exception of Dai Mubei, whose spirit power remained at level 58, the others had all reached the rank of Spirit Emperor. Wang Yuan, Jing Ling, and Zhang Zhu were not as talented as Dai Mubei, but their efforts were recognized by Li Yusong. Before their departure, he gave each of them an elixir to strengthen their spirit power. All three had reached level 61, demonstrating their formidable strength. As for the regular members of the Shrek team, their strength was even greater. Ma Hongjin, who previously had the highest spirit power, remained at level 76. It seemed he had enjoyed a wealth of rare treasures in the Zuinio sect. According to Yu Xiangshang's letter, Ma Hongjin's 7th spirit ring was that of a 75,000-year-old scarlet flame kite. After absorbing the energy, Ma Hongjin's fire attribute skyrocketed, and the power of his ultimate fire grew ever stronger. Li Yusong speculated that if Ma Hongjin's 8th spirit ring were given a suitable 100,000-year-old fire spirit ring, perhaps his ultimate fire could reach the level of divine fire. The next three with the strongest spirit powers were Yi Lingling, Zhu Xiuqing, and Oscar. Yi Lingling's spirit power reached level 74, and Zhu Xiuqing's reached level 73. Oscar, however, was overtaken by them and now stands at level 72. It wasn't that Oscar wasn't diligent, it was simply because Li Yusong had given her the best things for her. Yi Lingling cultivated in the yin-yang eye of ice and fire, a perfectly suited mimicking environment. She also received the sacrifice of an 85,000-year-old blue-silver king, undoubtedly boosting her strength significantly. Zhu Xiuqing, on the other hand, obtained a 100,000-year-old spirit ring and spirit bone, quickly leaping to the Soul Emperor level. She hunted down an 86,000-year-old netherworld spirit cat and obtained its Taosu bone. The chance they shared is unrepeatable. Li Yusong's dedication to nurturing them is undoubtedly no mere petty manipulation. Oscar reached Soul Sage status the previous week, having been personally hunted by Sword Douluo for a 73,000-year-old spirit ring, bringing his soul power to level 72. While Oscar's soul power has been surpassed by the two women, his strength has vastly improved. Ma Hongjin used to be the strongest member of the Shrek team, but now Oscar is. For the past 3 years, Oscar has not only diligently cultivated his soul power, but also focused on the Dao of the sword. Under the personal guidance of Sword Master Chen Xin, Oscar's swordsmanship has improved tremendously. Li Yusong could sense that Oscar was now like an incredibly sharp sword, ready to strike at any moment. This was a source of immense relief for him. As for the remaining team members, none of them were soul sages, they were all soul emperors. Yu Xiangxin and Yang Wu had reached soul power level 68, Niu Dun had reached level 67, and Ning Rongrong had reached level 65. As for Yu Xiangxin, the entire Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus clan's resources were channeled towards him. His grandfather, Yu Luomian, personally selected soul beasts for him, absorbing them beyond his capacity. Yu Xiangxin's progress was remarkable. His current soul power cultivation surpassed that of Yu Yuanzun, a member of the same age group. As for Yang Wu, the Pui clan also allocated cultivation resources to him. Since Yang Wudi was invited by Du Yubo to refine poisons within the yin-yang eye of ice and fire, he also acquired numerous rare treasures. He then transplanted these treasures into the yin-yang eye. Using the pollen of the Yaoxiang Kilo immortal product, Yang Wudi enhanced the medicinal properties and created a brand new elixir. This new elixir aided his soul power cultivation, and he, Yang Pajin, and Yang Wu all experienced its benefits. Yang Pajin's soul power surpassed Yang Wudi's, reaching level 87, while Yang Wudi's reached level 86. As for Yang Wu, he was recognized as a candidate for the next clan leader. After all, Yang Pajin had no particular ambition for the position of clan leader. Life within the Po clan was now quite comfortable, and aside from diligent cultivation, there was little pressure. As for Yang Wu, he diligently cultivated his spearmanship, hoping to eventually take the title of Spear Master and reach the same level of sword mastery as Chen Zin, the Sword Dao Master. As for Niu Dun, he diligently cultivated. Since both the Yu and Po clans resided in Shrek City, the two families had grown closer. Yang Wudi also shared the elixir he had refined with Niu Gao and Niu Dun. With the aid of the elixir, Niu Gao's spirit power reached level 88, and Niu Dun's reached level 67. These were truly monumental breakthroughs. Niu Gao was confident that his strength was on par with Hu Yanzhen's, and within a few years, he might even reach the title Douluo realm, which would further enhance his clan's protection. After all, many factions were reluctant to provoke a clan with a title Douluo. After all, an angry title Douluo demanding an explanation from his clan would be a real nuisance. Ninrongrong's cultivation was average, with no major discrepancies. She'd only just begun, so there was no need to rush. How old was she? Only 17 and a half, plenty of time. Shrek Academy was jubilant, while others were gloomy. In Longsing City, in the Xingluo Empire, a sinister middle-aged man in a black robe stood before a small black dragon, devouring humans. Damn it! Why am I still stuck at level 39? I broke through the bottleneck of level 29, so why am I still stuck at level 39? Is the heavens jealous of my talent? Why do those fools get such top-tier talents, while I, Uzia Gang, am nothing but a waste? This man was none other than Uzia Gang, who had ventured deep into the Xingluo Empire. He had been hunting down its inhabitants to improve his cultivation, but he had caused so many disappearances that he was now wanted by the Empire. Fortunately, no one had discovered his true appearance, only that he was a middle-aged man in a black robe. Who's that? Stop. Someone, there's a suspect here, a voice suddenly echoed from the alley. The latest novels are released on the 69th book forum. Oh no. Get out of here. Uzia Gang was also startled, then cursed inwardly before transforming into darkness and disappearing. Damn it. He got away again. Clear Sky Sects Tang San was diligently cultivating, but judging by his expression, a ferocious expression filled him. He forcefully attacked with a surge of soul power, only to be countered by it. Damn it. Why? I can't break through a level 59 no matter what. Why? Why is this happening? Tang San had been stuck at level 59 for months. His cultivation had been going smoothly, relying on the mystical heavenly art to continuously improve, without any bottlenecks. However, when he reached level 59th, his spirit power fully accumulated, he unexpectedly hit a bottleneck that felt incredibly solid. No matter what he did, he couldn't break through level 60, so much so that even the elders of the Clear Sky sect, who had held out hope for him, sighed. With his Spirit King strength, Tang San could already cultivate the Clear Sky Hammer, but he had ambitions. He wanted to break through to Soul Douluo before cultivating the Clear Sky Hammer, which would then have spirit rings over 50,000 years old, or even 100,000. Zio-san, still no use, a voice suddenly rang out. Tang San turned, saw Tang Zio, and suppressed his emotions. Yes, uncle, I can't break through this bottleneck no matter what. Tang Zio was also deeply puzzled. Although he had remained at Soul Douluo despite a broken arm and lost the Clear Sky Sect's inherited spirit bone, the elders had only reprimanded him and, instead of deposing him, had fervently protected him. Tang Zio's position within the Clear Sky sect remained unchanged. He remained the sect master, and he mobilized resources to cultivate Tang San. Tang San's fifth spirit ring, also hunted with Tang Zio's help, was also from a spider-like spirit beast. Tang San's blue-silver grass had turned a dark purple. If you can't do it, then cultivate the Clear Sky Hammer. After all, being stuck at a bottleneck isn't a solution. While not all spirit rings can be over 50,000 years old, Having your clear sky hammer's first spirit ring be 20,000 years old shouldn't be a problem. Similarly, a second spirit ring of 30,000 years, a third of 40,000 years, and a fifth of 50,000 years shouldn't be a problem. When you cultivate to your 8th spirit ring, the elders and I will help you hunt a 100,000-year-old spirit beast. There's a titan ape in the Star Dou Great Forest who should be a good fit. So cultivate the clear sky hammer. It's the most powerful. Tang Xiao's words also made Tang San hesitate. After all, he had mastered the clear sky hammer 9 absolutes and the chaos cloak hammer technique. He had even created the chaos cloak dance, defeating Tang Long and becoming the strongest of the 3rd generation of disciples. The clear sky hammer's power was obvious to all, and cultivating it could indeed help him overcome his current bottleneck. Chapter 247 Tang San, Impossible Teacher Won't Harm Me. Tang San was indeed beginning to hesitate about whether to cultivate the clear sky hammer. He no longer wanted to be stuck at a bottleneck, but he really didn't want to waste a spirit ring space by cultivating the clear sky hammer. Xiao-san, I'm curious. Your mother, Yin, is a 100,000-year-old blue-silver emperor. Your blue-silver grass spirit should be a top-tier spirit. Why have you hit a cultivation bottleneck? Tang Xiao voiced his inner doubts. Tang San pondered this for a moment. Back after returning to the Clear Sky sect, Tang Xiao had recounted the events of that past, when Tang Hao had angrily struck the Pope with a hammer for his wife, resulting in his death. Hearing this had filled Tang San with passion. Knowing his mother was a 100,000-year-old blue-silver emperor, he didn't dwell on it much. A mother was a mother. Besides, she had already reached maturity and was a fully human being when she gave birth to him. Spirit Hall. He was not only the murderer of his mother, but also the murderer of his father. He, Tang San, had a sworn feud with the Spirit Hall. He would be unworthy of being a son if he didn't destroy the Spirit Hall and smash it to pieces. Why is that, uncle? Tang San was also confused. His martial spirit was clearly the Blue-Silver Emperor, the Emperor of Blue-Silver Grass. Even without awakening, it was still superior to ordinary Blue-Silver Grass. Why did he hit a bottleneck? Xiao-san, tell me, could there be something wrong with your method of cultivating Blue-Silver Grass? Tang Xiao's words struck Tang San's heart. In his mind, the status of a teacher was very high. Although uncle now gave him enough fatherly love, he could not slander his teacher. Why do you say that, uncle? Tang San asked, suppressing his anger. I'm very puzzled by the fact that all the spirit rings you've absorbed are spider type. I asked Yin back then, can blue-silver grass really cultivate so quickly? Yin said, blue-silver grass's greatest characteristic is its tolerance and vitality. Strengthening its vitality will cause it to evolve. I suppose blue-silver grass cultivation should prioritize vitality, and spiders don't seem like spirit beasts with such strong vitality. Besides, Yin used to really dislike spiders. I think your blue-silver grass cultivation must be wrong. No one in this world understands blue-silver grass better than Yin. After all, she's the emperor of blue-silver grass. Tang Xiao's words reverberated like a bolt from the blue, reverberating through Tang San's mind. His mother was the emperor of blue-silver grass, the true blue-silver emperor. Her understanding of blue-silver grass must surpass any other living being. Teacher, though a master of theory, was at best a great spirit master. He didn't even know the blue-silver emperor. Back then, he had dismissed Tang San's blue-silver grass as a useless spirit. But Tang Xiao's words, according to Tang San, were no less powerful than the clear sky hammer spirit, indicating that teacher's view was wrong. The path he told me to cultivate was wrong too. Was it the teacher who caused my cultivation to stagnate? No, the teacher couldn't possibly harm me. He treated me like a son. Why would he do that to me? Uncle, why did the master let me go with a poison attribute control flow? Once the seed of doubt germinated, it would grow infinitely. At this moment, Tang San no longer called Yu Xiaogang teacher, but master. You mean Yu Xiaong? He seduced the Spirit Hall Saint Maiden to obtain information about the Spirit Hall and named his theory his own, which caused quite a stir back then. Yu Yuanzhen, the old patriarch of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex clan and Yu Xiaong's father, couldn't handle the pressure and kicked him out of the sect. You see, he only has you as his disciple, and he wants to prove himself? You have twin spirits, and no matter how you practice, you're 100% titled Douluo. To cultivate a twin-spirited genius like you, does he need to prove his theory correct? Is it his theory or your own talent that's superior? And isn't the best way to prove a theory to raise a child with less talent intertitled Douluo? That would silence the accusations of Yao Yao. Yuzaion's character is also extremely poor. Back then, the spirit hall saint maiden fell in love with him, but he ran away when the Pope stopped him. Later, he fell in love with his cousin, Liu Long, but was captured by Uluomian and ran away again. Honestly, Yuzaion was the laughingstock of the three upper sects back then. He really doesn't know why he had the audacity to accept the title of Grandmaster. The masters of our 7 great sects and their title Douluo all possess theories and have cultivated themselves to title Douluo, possessing experience. A great spirit master like him can't offer you anything, yet I wonder why he's so conceited? Is he brainless? Or is it a forced arrogance born of inferiority complex? Tang Xiao's words were like a bolt from the blue, shaking Tang San's heart. Teacher? A liar. Truly a fame-seeker, Tang San suddenly recalled how, when he first became Yu Zhaogang's disciple, everyone around him looked at him with pity. He was so conceited then, and they didn't understand the master's brilliance. I never imagined I'd be the clown. Tang San thought to himself, Yu Zhaogang. The hatred of obstructing the path is irreconcilable. Article 6 of the Zhuanshan Treasure Record states that anyone who obstructs one's cultivation shall be annihilated by a myriad of poisons. Tang San has already placed Yu Zhaogang on his must-kill list, a status no less prestigious than that of the Spirit Hall. In Tang San's eyes, he only remembers benefits when everything benefits him. Yu Zhaogang had betrayed him, utterly betraying his fatherly treatment. This person, uneducated and yet able to teach others, deserves the death penalty. Uncle, is there any hope for my blue-silver grass? Tang San suppressed his hatred for Yu Zhaogang, held out the dark purple blue-silver grass in his right hand, and asked Tang Xiao. The latest novel is now available on the 69th book bar. Take this 48,000-year-old head soul bone and absorb it. It should help you break through your bottleneck. Then, we'll go to the Star Dou Great Forest and find a plant-type soul beast with sufficient vitality to evolve your blue-silver grass source. This was the only solution Tang Xiao could think of. Unlike Tang Hao, he knew the Blue-Silver Emperor intimately. The Blue-Silver Emperor had told Tang Hao all about his race and homeland. Tang Xiao, unaware of the Blue-Silver Forest's location, nor of Yin's remaining subordinates, could only think of using a spirit bone to help Tang San break through his bottleneck, and then use the next spirit ring to evolve his martial spirit. Tang San accepted the spirit bone, feeling the loss of Yu Zhaogang's betrayal. Now, his uncle, Tang Xiao, was treating him so well, his position no less important than his own father, Tang Hao. He was like a father, and since he had no children, he was his son, ready to provide for his old age and help him return to peak form. Tang San placed the head spirit bone against his forehead and absorbed it. He felt as if his purple demon eye was being drawn to something, breaking through to the mustard seed realm. His mental power surged, breaking through the once incredibly strong bottleneck, and Tang San's spirit power reached level 60. Half a day later, Uncle, I'm level 60, Tang San exclaimed happily at Tang Xiao. Great. Let's go, Xiao-san. Let's go hunt for spirit rings and evolve the blue-silver grass's essence. Tang Xiao led Tang San to the Star Dou Great Forest. Chapter 248 Target. While Tang Xiao led Tang San to the Star Dou Great Forest to hunt souls, Li Luochen was already testing the strength of the Shrek team. At Shrek Square, Li Luochen faced off against all the Shrek team members. Everyone, this is a major gathering at Shrek Academy, and of course there's a program. The program is Director Li Luochen versus all the Shrek team members. You've all been curious about Director Li's strength, and today you'll get to see it. But first, I'm no match for Director Li. Okay, both sides enter the arena and report your spirits and levels, Flender shouted from the void. As the dean hosting such a large-scale event, he had to make a splash. Otherwise, who would know him? He had to show off regularly. After all, Shrek Academy's hallmark was a title Douluo with a 100,000-year spirit ring. Ma Hongjin, Spirit Fire Phoenix, level 76 powerful attack type battle spirit saint, Ma Hongjin shouted, and 7 spirit rings emerged from his body, 1 yellow, 2 purple, and 4 black. Oscar, Martial Soul Supreme Sausage, level 72 strong attack and support dual element battle soul saint. After Oscar's self-destruction, 7 spirit rings emerged, 1 yellow, 3 purple, and 3 black. However, Oscar still used the Fire Phoenix, not the sausage. He truly preferred using Ma Hongjin's Fire Phoenix. Zhu's Huking, Martial Soul Netherworld Spirit Cat, Level 73 Agility Attack Battle Soul Saint, Zhu's Huking said coldly. After all, gentleness was reserved for only one person, so her spirit ring configuration was quite surprising. 2 yellow, 1 purple, 1 purple black, 1 black, 1 red, and 1 black. 100,000-year spirit ring, 100,000-year spirit ring. This astonished not only the students, but also the Shrek team members and even the teachers. The few who knew the details remained expressionless. Yilingling, Martial Soul 9-Hearted Begonia, Level 74 Support Healing Weapon Soul Saint. Yilingling's spirit ring configuration was much more normal, 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 3 black. Only the 4th soul ring was purple-black. Yu Xiangxin, Spirit, Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus, Level 68 Strong Attack War Soul Emperor. Yang Wu, Spirit, Soul Breaking Spear, Level 68 Strong Attack War Soul Emperor. Niu Dun, Spirit, Plate Armor Giant Rhinoceros, Level 67 Defense War Soul Emperor. Ning Rongrong, Spirit, 9 Treasures Glazed Pagoda, Level 65 Support Weapon Soul Emperor. Jingling, Spirit, Skeleton, Level 61 Agility War Soul Emperor. Wang Yuan, Spirit, Lone Wolf, Level 61 Strong Attack War Soul Emperor. Jiangzhu, Spirit, Healing Scepter, Level 61 Support Weapon Soul Emperor. Daimyu Bei, Spirit, White Tiger, Level 58 Strong Attack War Soul King. Everyone on the Shrek team assumed battle stances and saluted Li Luochen with their fists clasped. Director Li, please advise. XN alright. Li Luochen, Spirit, Sky Lifting Divine Dragon Pillar, Level 97 Powerful Attack Super Douluo. Everyone, beware. After Li Luochen called out his spirit power level, spirit rings appeared. Red, 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 orange gold, red, 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 brilliant gold. 9 outrageous spirit ring configurations appeared. The red one was understandable, 100,000-year spirit ring, but the first one was 100,000-year-old? What the hell was going on? Everyone at Shrek Academy was stunned, their collective voice trembling. We know you're strong, but you don't have to be this strong, right? Why even fight? Just surrender. Li Luochen completed a massive Wave 1 display, his entire body radiating light. He still had to display Wave 1 power. Those who didn't display Wave 1 power would be struck by lightning. A wooden sword suddenly materialized in Li Luochen's hand. The blade was 5 feet 4 inches long, 5 inches wide, with a handle 1 foot 4 inches long. It materialized, pointing at the Shrek team. As long as you shatter my wooden sword, or allow me to unleash my martial spirit, victory will be yours. Li Luochen smiled, his aura undiminished, only intensified by his eagerness. Why did Li Luochen use the wooden sword? Because after emerging from seclusion, he began studying swordsmanship. For some reason, Li Luochen learned everything so quickly, his training practically flowing smoothly. He had now condensed his own unique sword intent, and there were probably few on the Douluo Continent who could surpass him in swordsmanship. As for why he learned the sword? Isn't it the Shura God's super artifact, the Shura Blood Sword? A super artifact, Li Luochen had to learn how to wield it first, the sword, after all. Otherwise, as someone who wields a staff, he might not excel at it. Therefore, before inheriting the divine throne, Li Luochen planned to cultivate a powerful sword technique. It might not be as powerful as his own staff skills, but it would be enough to sweep across the continent. After all, as the Shura God's successor, he couldn't let him down in swordsmanship. Far away in the God realm, Ashura, who was trying hard to attack Rakshasa, smiled with relief after sensing Li Luochen's thoughts. Rakshasa, whose face was ashen, suddenly smiled when he saw this expressionless face, and felt that he was about to be finished. Sure enough, Ashura's waist exerted force again, and he attacked Rakshasa with Ashura's sword intent. Ashura, I hate you. Woo woo woo, the latest novel is first published on the 69th book bar. Rakshasa shed sad tears. Shrek Academy, Shrek Square OK. Both sides have completed their notifications, and the game begins. Flanders also directly started the game at this time, and then landed around the soul fighting arena, and protected the students with Zhao Wuji, Qinming, Liu Erlong and other soul fighters. After all, the combatants this time were all soul emperors and above, including several soul sages. The aftermath of the battle could injure the students, so the teachers needed to deploy a protective barrier. Killing God Domain, Li Luochen unleashed it. A beam of white light emanated from his body, and the Shrek team felt an overwhelming killing aura. This killing intent was incredibly pure, the gaze of a powerful being from a sea of blood and corpses. Fortunately, the Shrek team had sufficient mental fortitude to withstand the killing aura. Otherwise, those with less mental fortitude would have easily been frightened by it. Draw your sword, and dodge. Li Yusong swung his sword, and even with just a wooden blade, he unleashed a soaring slash. The crimson sword energy rushed directly towards the Shrek team. 9 treasures have names. The 4th is called Defend, the 6th is called Increase. Ningrongrong immediately activated her support, and the support light descended upon Niudun. You've been strengthened. Block it. First soul skill, plate armor. Second soul skill, hard shell. Third soul skill, rhino heavy armor. Fourth soul skill, heavenly armor rhino shield. Sixth soul skill, infinite plate shield. Niudun unleashed his strongest defensive power. He used all 5 soul skills in a defensive attack. This was his first time doing so, but his opponent was Li Yusong, so he had to give it his all. Without using his full strength, the damage might not have been just bruises, but rather patches here and there. After all, Li Yusong was using a sword this time. It was unknown how much Niudun's defense had increased to, but at least the average soul Douluo wouldn't be able to achieve such a level of defense. Perhaps this was the magic of a supremely defensive soul master. However, ideals are often ideal, but reality is often harsh. Niudun was completely defeated, his shield shattered, and he was sent flying. Fortunately, Li Yusong's attack only shattered Niudun's defenses, dissipating upon impact, and the remaining energy simply pushed him back. This can only be achieved when one has a very high level of control over soul power. Chapter 249, Narrow Victory. I've been a bit exhausted from work lately, so I'll update once a day for now, and then resume double updates on Saturday. I'm really exhausted. After the Shrek team saw Niudun collapse, they didn't care about anything else and immediately used their strongest spirit skills. Soul Form X4, the 4 Soul Saints used their soul forms directly, while Oscar used the Fire Phoenix form. 6th Soul Skill, Phoenix Piercing Cloud Strike, X2 6th Soul Skill, Void. Explosive 8-segment Stab, 3rd Soul Skill, Thunder Fury. 6th Soul Skill, Thunder Dragon Strangles, 6th Soul Skill, Destroy, 6th Soul Skill, Ghost Shadow Assault, 3rd Soul Skill, Heavenly Wolf Transformation. 6th Soul Skill, Heavenly Wolf Double Slash, White Tiger Body Barrier, White Tiger Vajra Transformation, White Tiger Demon God Transformation. 4th Soul Skill, White Tiger Meteor Shower. The 9 treasures have names. 1 is Strength, 2 is Speed, 3 is Soul, 4 is Defense, 5 is Attack, and 6 is Increase. 4th Soul Skill, 9 Hearts Soul Ascension. 6th Soul Skill, 9 Hearts Blessing. The Shrek team immediately mobilized their full strength. They knew their teacher Li Yusong well and his strength was unfathomable. They had better go all out, otherwise things could easily get out of hand. Meanwhile, outside the Shrek Fighting Spirit Arena, the Shrek Academy teachers had already constructed a soul power barrier, having activated it as soon as the Shrek team's soul powers began to fluctuate. There were still hundreds of students on Shrek Square, and their safety had to be considered. With Flanders and Zhao Wuji, the 2 titled Douluos, as the primary force, and the other Soul Douluos and Soul Saint teachers providing support, the soul power barrier constructed should be impenetrable to any soul power attack below level 96. Li Yusong, a level 97 Super Douluo, couldn't possibly use his own level 97 soul power against these children. Would that be shameless, Li Yusong? I don't even need that. What's the point of using my cultivation if I don't bully others? Meanwhile, in the soul fighting arena, Li Yusong didn't think twice. He gripped his wooden sword tightly, concentrating his soul power on it and slashing at the opponent's soul skills. This time, however, it was a multi-strike attack, with several red sword energies charging directly at the energy soul skills unleashed by the Shrek team, such as the Phoenix Phantom and the 9 Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex Phantoms. As for those in close combat, let them suffer a little. Even close combat requires timing. Yang Wu, Jing Ling, and Wang Yuan were instantly sent flying by the sword energy. As for Zhu Zhuking, she used Xiao Wu's Spirit Bone ability to teleport away from the slash. After dodging the slash, Zhu Zhuking used Nether Shadow Escape, entering stealth mode. Furthermore, after Zhu Zhuking obtained her 7th Spirit Ring, she had actually gained something new, but she had forgotten to tell Li Luochen. After absorbing the spirit ring, she and Li Luochen immediately engaged in sexual intercourse, and she had forgotten about it. However, this time, was the time to unleash this move, believing it would definitely surprise Li Luochen. After Zhu Zhuking disappeared, Oscar, the team leader, launched another attack. Phoenix Meteor Shower. A massive shower of meteors rained down on Li Luochen. Ma Hongjin observed Oscar's move. And although he didn't fully understand it, he simply followed his lead. After all, Oscar must have a reason for doing so. Ningrongrong and Yi Lingling, the supporting forces, diligently assisted. Li Luochen had taught them that supporting forces must constantly observe their teammates. This included not only the lead spirit master, but also the supporting forces. Yi Lingling and Ningrongrong memorized these theories, including how to fake support and provide cover for those who truly needed it. After Zhu Zhuking went into hiding, Ningrongrong caught her off guard. Instead of losing her support, Ningrongrong gave Zhu Zhuking her full speed boost. Li Luochen, observing Oscar and Ma Hongjin's large-scale group attacks, immediately assumed they were spirit skills designed to provide cover. He thought to himself, I trained all of you guys. How can you use my methods against me? It's just providing cover for Zhu Qing. That's obvious. While defending with his wooden sword, Li Luochen observed Zhu Zhuking's position with his naked eyes, not his mental energy. Using mental power to deal with him was simply too much of a bummer. Li Luochen had restricted himself considerably, and this time he was mainly playing around. While observing Zhu Zhuking, Li Luochen discovered that she was completely invisible to the naked eye, and it was impossible to find her without mental power. However, Li Luochen still managed to locate her. How did he find her? Of course, it was by smell. Zhu Zhuking's unique, milky scent, a dream to escape Li Luochen's nose. But Li Luochen didn't intend to expose her. Although he could smell her, Zhu Zhuking moved quickly, and the constant diffusion of the scent would easily affect his sense of smell. Li Luochen was pleased with Zhu Zhuking's trick. She knew how to trick him. Boom! A phoenix meteor shower slammed into Li Luochen's sword, irritating him. He planned to directly eliminate Ma Hongjin and Oscar, two active fighters. The latest novels are now available on the 69th book bar. This Shrek team is like loose sand. Li Luochen swung his wooden sword directly towards Ma Hongjin and Oscar's position, slashing out sword energy. However, both of them barely avoided it. This kind of danger has become like instinct, so they were able to avoid it. At this time, Yu Xiangxin and others also began to restrain Li Luochen, or more accurately, to restrain Li Luochen's sword energy. After all, Li Luochen didn't use much of the soul power he had to slash out to the fullest potential. The soul power required for a sword energy slash is only 1/100000th. It's not even enough to sprinkle water. Moreover, Li Luochen possesses a soul core, and his soul power recovery is ridiculously fast. Li Luochen has condensed a yin and yang complementary soul core. Through this method, his soul power recovery speed is like a perpetual motion machine. Li Luochen thought sword energy was fun anyway, so he only used this move. At this time, Li Luochen's ears suddenly heard a cold voice. Sixth soul skill, nothingness. Explosive killing 8-segment stab, Ling. Zhu Zhuking's sharp claws struck the wooden sword directly, and after Li Luochen's body instinctively began to move, Zhu Zhuking used her teleportation skill to attack the wooden sword again. Ling. 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 The explosive 8-section stab, derived from Xiao Wu's 8-section throw. Each of the 8-section stabs imparts a stun effect, making it virtually impossible to dodge once struck. Each strike also creates a violent concussion, dispersing the opponent's concentrated soul energy. Simultaneously, 70% of the 8-section stab's attack power is accumulated in the final thrust. The first 7 thrusts merely attempt to break the opponent's defenses as much as possible. Zhu Zhuking completed the 7th thrust in an instant, then struck the wooden sword with the 8th strike. The blade cracked, but it didn't break. The outcome was clear. Li Luochen had unleashed a Douluo Continent-sized force, handing the Shrek team a narrow victory. Well, Zhu Zhuking had already unleashed the 8-section stab, and Li Luochen was still playing the game, standing there like a fool. Is he even playing tricks? However, Zhu Zhuking's strength has indeed improved a lot, and her combat value is higher. Chapter 250, Going to Poseidon. The situation has changed. Among the Shrek team, Zhu Zhuking's strength has increased the most. After all, she's the only one in the team to possess a 100,000-year spirit ring. While her spirit power isn't the highest, her overall strength is the highest. Furthermore, Li Luochen has sensed that Zhu's Huking has acquired a domain, and a very powerful one at that, a truly remarkable achievement. However, the little cat hadn't told him that he was furious, and the consequences could be dire. Zhu's Huking felt as if she were being watched, as if something were about to take a devastating blow. She glanced at Li Luochen, who was looking right at her. That look frightened her, and her back ached. After his observation, Li Luochen scanned the Shrek team. Overall, the teamwork was excellent, a testament from a duel enthusiast. After 3 years of experience, they hadn't forgotten the crucial synergy, which was a remarkable achievement. Unlike Li Luochen, he preferred to work alone. It wasn't that he disliked teamwork, he had partners in Du Guyan and Jin Ringsu, but they hadn't fought together before. Ever since Li Luochen reached Soul Sage, he hadn't teamed up with Du Guyan to fight alongside them. The last time they did was during their travels through the Star Luo Empire. Li Luochen and Du Guyan combined their spirit fusion skills to instantly defeat a Star Luo Empire Soul Douluo. As for Jin Ringsu, Li Luochen had never teamed up with her, they'd never even sparred, well, not counting in bed. This resulted in all three of them excelling at individual combat over group combat, perhaps preferring individual combat over group combat. Li Luochen favored using his fusion ring to create wide area attacks, which could affect his teammates. Du Guyan's sharp claw strikes could also affect her teammates, and Jin Ringsu hadn't coordinated with anyone else. Now, all three of them have fully grown. Li Luochen has reached Super Douluo, and Jin Ringsu is also a titled Douluo, with her soul power reaching level 92. As for Du Guyan, raising a child has slowed her training time, but she's also become a high-level soul Douluo. Du Guyan was still in her prime training years, capable of rapid advancement as long as she had the time. It was a shame there wasn't anyone to look after her. The Shrek team, however, prioritized teamwork, as it was their primary advantage. As long as they didn't encounter a stuntman like Li Luochen, they wouldn't be a problem. Alright, follow me to the conference room. I have plans for your next phase of training. Li Luochen led the Shrek team to the meeting room. Shortly after, in the conference room, what I want to say is that in the next phase of training, if you can pass the tests there, perhaps some of you could achieve title Douluo status in your 20s. Even if you can't achieve title Douluo, Soul Douluo is definitely possible, which would save you a lot of time, Li Luochen stated sternly, shocking the Shrek team. How could such a magical place exist? Director Li, what is it? It's called the Sea Bang. Li Luochen, there's an emergency. Bibi Dong is going to destroy the Haoshan sect, and she asked me to come and ask you to go with her. She said you're a spirit hall elder and a victim from 3 years ago, so you should go. The door was kicked open, and a golden figure suddenly appeared. It was Jin Ringsu. She had just completed the enthronement of Zhu King, and Bibi Dong pulled this trick, even asking her to come and call Li Luochen. Is this how she orders her daughter around? So, the affairs of the Heaven Dao Empire have once again fallen upon the stand-in, Zhu King. Stand-in Zhu King, my vacation. It's ruined. It was supposed to be a great honeymoon, woo. Okay, I get it, Li Luochen hadn't expected this to happen so soon. What the hell is going on? You've all heard, right? The Pope is going to destroy the Haoshan sect. I know some of you have grievances with this spirit hall, but I believe in a unified continent. If you don't want to be the next target of reckoning, you have your family to consider, especially the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect Rongrong. Your family has been too aggressive in recent years, and that's not good. Your Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect is a merchant sect, understanding profit first, but staying alive is the only way to reap greater benefits, and sometimes you have to make trade-offs. You're already the young sect master, and I hope you understand. If Ning Fengzi disagrees, I don't mind knocking him out and tying him up, and making you the new sect master. I think Swordbone Douluo would agree. Li Luochen's words startled Ning Rongrong, but he spared her father's life for her sake, allowing her to become sect master directly. So, Director Li, you're a master of tricks. Yu Xiangxin was speechless. He already knew his grandfather had defected to the spirit hall and become an elder. After all, the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family had been severely damaged and needed such a shelter. He was the only hope for the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus clan to rise again. However, Yu Xiangxin felt that even if the clan rose to power, he had no intention of overthrowing the spirit hall. It was pointless. Yu Xiangxin believed that as long as he diligently cultivated and grew stronger, reaching the level of the first sect master, cultivating to level 99, and then producing more offspring for the clan, that would be enough. A sect's rise? Strength required? That was both true and false. The lifespan of the powerful was limited, so producing capable successors was the key. The latest novel was released on 69 Shuba. The Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus clan became the world's foremost beast spirit because of its fertility. The Spirit Hall's Golden Crocodile and Blue Loon lineages were both comparable to the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus. They were all powerful, but their fertility was only a level below that of a first-level deity. Only the Lion Douluo could rival the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus. But Lion Douluo has a mutant spirit, and he's the first generation of the family. While he's a bit of a tyrant, the family is just getting started. Yu Xiangxin has always been clear about her own path. Rather than striving for supremacy, becoming stronger and adding more children to the family is key. Yu Xiangxin's journey as a stud is about to begin. As for Yang Wu and Niu Dun, from the Po Yu clan, formerly affiliated with the Haoshan sect, they showed no emotion, their thoughts oblivious to the Haoshan sect's demise, as if they were roadside weeds. The Haoshan sect's demise was its own fault. Both the Haoshan sect and the Spirit Hall had oppressed the two clans, and it just so happened that they had met new masters, improving their quality of life. Haoshan sect? We're not familiar with them. Alright, let's put cultivation aside for now. Let's go to the Haoshan sect and see how much this supposedly number one sect in the world has to offer. Yes. And elsewhere, in Spirit City, Bibi Dong stood atop a high platform in the Pope's palace, clad in luxurious armor. Forged by the finest blacksmiths, it was both beautiful and incredibly powerful. Wearing it, Bibi Dong looked like a female warrior goddess descended to the earth. His Highness the Pope had already assembled 9,000 soul masters, forming a square formation. At the front of the formation stood several figures, uniformly clad in the red robes worn by Tidal Douluo. They also wore armor, appearing ready for battle. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.